What's up, everyone? Welcome to a special edition that no one, including myself, expected of the Normal America with robnoerr show. Daytime edition. So I was supposed to go pick up a rental car today, and then for those that don't know the lore, I hit a deer in my wife's car, and it totaled it. We're all right. No injuries or anything of that nature. I think even the deer's all right. How about that? Anyways, in the interim, they're supposed to get us a rental car. It's part of our insurance deal. And I don't know what happened. The insurance company apparently didn't communicate with the rental place. So we were on our way to go pick up the car. We called ahead. They were like, oh, we don't have you picking it up until 4:30 tomorrow evening. It won't be ready until then. So I thought, well, let's take my son to the movies today. Since, okay, plans changed. And he didn't want to go. He was having fun here at home. He's been really focused on this book we have of math problems, like simple stuff like 2 + 3. And he's super into it. So he's doing that, and he was watching this show called Number Blocks that deal like with things like that. So I asked like 4 or 5 times, like, you sure you don't want to go? And he said, no, I don't want to go. I'd rather stay home. So I'm not going to drag him out just for my whim. So now I was sitting there bored watching Number Blocks with my son, and I thought, what if I come up and do an impromptu stream? That sounds fun. Save me a bunch of money, and then I'll make money. I don't have to go to the movies, and I'll make money instead. Brilliant. Then, of course, there's the drama to deal with, so we'll deal with that. Oh, I see some of them are in the chat as well. Yes. Very, very good. Very good to get the dramatic ones. Why is Rob spurging out in the woman that's saying stuff that could arguably get his channel banned about how people of a certain ethnicity need to be removed from the country? And she's doing so in a hypocritical way according to her own standards. Who came on to talk shit on Rob's friend with a bunch of bullshit rumors that she had no way of backing up. What's up with that? What's up with that? Clearly, Rob's Jewish. That must be it, right? I might be. I don't know. I might partially be ethnically Jewish. I'm certainly not religiously Jewish. We don't have to do. I don't even know shit about the Jewish religion. Can I not eat certain types of meat? If I come on and eat some deli subs or some shit for you, would that be enough to convince you all? Do I have to show you the meat before? Or is it possible that it was blessed or something, so it's okay? Could have had the same energy on the panel instead of crying. Which one? Which panel? I will choose. I didn't cry. I will choose to have what energy I want on any format that I please. On my show, I'll choose to talk to who I want. On a bunch of panels that have a bunch of nobodies on it, if they decide they're just going to talk over me and the shitty moderator is just going to allow them to talk over me, then I don't need to waste my time with them. And it's evident that that's the right decision, as my channel's doing fine, and those channels that were pissing about it and bragging about that's the point, to allow people to talk over you, they're not doing so hot, are they? Those channels aren't doing so hot. Sorry, Knack Talk, yeah. So I figured I would address a pork and shrimp bun on stream, or sub. That sounds horrible, those two things combined. What if I eat some cocktail shrimps with like a pulled pork sandwich? That I could do. I don't know that I'd put them together, though. I just don't, I love the people that are like, this is how I do things. I'd let the lady that's sitting there yelling about Jewish people, you're a fool if you're not covering that in your show. Okay, sure. Hey, start a show and have at it, Or, Rob, come on, you should just sit there and let people scream over you. A bunch of nobodies. That's what a man would do. Okay. You got her, dude. Anyways, we'll cover some of it. I will be on the Extravaganza all week over on the Crucibles Discord. That's going to be at 5 p.m. Tonight's co-host will be the great Jim Bob. Now, I'm not sure if he's doing it all week with me. Also, tomorrow becomes a difficult proposition. I think my wife's mom's going to help save us. But if that car needs picked up at 4:30 and it's about a half hour away from me, that means I wouldn't be back in time for the Extravaganza, which is a big issue, seeing as how neither Andrew or Jake are available this week. So, Dusty Dude had me crying. I'll tell you what. You show me the clip where I was crying because of Dusty, and I'll completely admit that I was wrong. Go ahead. You have 2 minutes to bring up the clip. You could even just bring up the video or say it's this video, it's this timestamp. Go ahead and show me. I understand you're another Dusty fan. Now, Dusty's whole market now is he's going to do shows about me and Andrew till the end of time because he has nothing relevant to talk about. So he's found a way to insert himself by basically fucking over his friend Sarah's channel into the slightest amount of drama, which he thinks will somehow get him 2 or 3 extra viewers per night. And so dumbasses like you are going to come over and do it or talk about it. But go ahead. You have 2 minutes. I'm absolutely willing to see where I was crying because of Dusty. Was it where I left because of Radical Coder talking over me, and then Dusty's panel sent a bunch of trolls? Not only did I deal with all those trolls, and then they went back to Dusty's channel and admitted they did a shit job, then Dusty himself called in, and I took the call from Dusty? Is that it? Is that where I was where I was crying because of Dusty, even after him and his channel had trolled me for over an hour? I still brought on his call? Is that it? Is that when I was crying about him? Is that what it was, Lex? Here's Dusty's whole thing. Oh, Rob won't. I tried to call into Rob's show and he won't talk to me after I called him multiple times and he schooled me. And now I want to call in after admitted that I'm just going to troll him and lie to him, and he won't accept my call. What's up with that? He's running from me. No, Dusty. No Dusty's fan, and this is the last time I'll talk about it, unless I choose otherwise. You're irrelevant. No one gives a fuck about you. You're a joke. And I know you're little fanboys like that men guy that tried to call in yesterday. We'll try to keep it alive. And Sarah's going to try to keep it alive. And it's probably dumb to even talk about the Sarah shit today, because this is all they have now. They've been driven to lol cows. So we'll talk about it today, though. First, Knack Talk. Thanks so much for the 5 gifted memberships. Really appreciate it, man. Thank you so much. Naughty Germ, as always, thank you so much for the $5. Bat Fricker, $10 says, Oy vey. I didn't know Rachel was Jewish. Chaim. Is that how you spell that? Or is that a different? Chaim? Wow. Thanks, Matt. Texas Bully Man, Mom, thanks so much. $10 for the car fund. Thank you. And then AJC, $50. Says, sorry I missed out last night. My nanomechanical heart with my artificial brain was charging in bed. Oh, I'm not a government issued either. Last night, we had quite the calls last night as well. Funny stuff. Thank you. MN Conservative, thanks so much for the $10. Says, for the car fund, thank you. And then Knack Talk, thank you for becoming a member. And then $5 says, F the drama, brother. You showed great character, and I agree with your assessment of the entire situation. Thank you. And AJC, finally, 10 memberships gifted. Thank you so much, as always, AJC. Oh, we'll get to that. Don't worry. Where's the dude that I was crying? He's going to show the proof, right? Lex, where you at? Lex! You there, Lex? Oh, well. So, I've been made aware that our good friend Sarah Tomato has a video. I'm going to advertise her video to help her out. I'm going to advertise her video. She is coming out today. The Emotional Men of the Patriarchy, an Andrew Wilson and robnoerr love story. Nice. I like that thumbnail there. Nailed it, right? Nice. Here's the video explanation. You ready? Once upon a live stream in a land full of panels and debate, Rob fell in love, not with logic, but with rage quitting. And then Andrew saved the day. Here's what we have. The timestamps. Looks about to be a 16-minute video. Nice. Opening, and then robnoerr crashes out on the Wick TV panel. It's me or them. Andrew Wilson sweeps for me and demands Wick apologize. robnoerr crashes out on Trippy because Ryan interrupted. Andrew sweeps for Rob. Claims the panel needed Rob for view. robnoerr crashes out in the Raging Tomato panel. Demands it's me or them. Andrew Wilson demands the pays $10,000. Now, I'll go over these briefly, the specific incidents. Me crashing out in the Wick panel saying it's me or them. I didn't say it's me or them, I said it's me or him. The Wick panel was a person by the name of Soy Pill. Now, at this point, there was a big conversation going on where a bunch of left-wingers on my X account were demanding that I criticize Donald Trump for quoting Napoleon and saying those who save their country violate no law. Oh, my goodness, Rob, you must have... And I quite simply said, I don't give a shit. By the way, this was the same thrust of one of the first times I was on Sarah's panel. The topic that I was doing was, we should laugh at these lefties, because I'm not going to talk to any lefties seriously about Trump's mean tweets about lawfare unless they themselves have criticized the lawfare against Trump. One person on X named Soy Pill photoshopped or whatever a fake tweet where they were criticizing the Biden administration using lawfare against Trump. Now, I'd already signed up for a panel. Unbeknownst to me, this guy was going to be on it, on Wick's program. My strategy was going to be, fuck you people, I don't care what you say, unless you could prove to me that you criticize lawfare against Trump. However, once I saw that this Soy Pill character actually did criticize the lawfare against Trump, I actually was excited to have a real conversation with him. I admitted I didn't like the tweet that Trump made. I said that it could be that Trump would go too far, and I absolutely would call out if I thought that he broached into unlawful lawfare that was beyond the scope of what I found acceptable. I was happy that there was someone who identified in the left that said, but that's ridiculous, the lawfare could go too far. So we get on Wick's panel. I announce my original strategy was basically to tell these people to kiss my ass, but since Soy Pill is good faith, absolutely excited to talk about this because he showed me this tweet he made. Soy Pill quickly announces early in the panel, ha ha, I lied. I made that up. Ha 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 ha. I said, fuck you. I'm not going to stick around and talk to this dude then. He entered into this conversation under bad faith, lying about what he believed to get me into a conversation. Not interested. I said, Wick, you can have him stay or me. Wick's like, well, I'm not going to do that. I said, fine. Then I'm just not going to address anything he said. Wick then proceeds to call me a coward, this, that, and the other. I get in an argument with Wick. I say, fuck you. Wick just screams over me, as the moderator, won't allow me to say a word. I say, all right, we'll see you later. That's what happened. Andrew then goes in afterwards and tells Wick, basically, eat shit. Why are you doing that? Why are you screaming over him? That's it. That was the Wick drama. TrippyCast, you all saw that. Now it's out of order. TrippyCast comes after the past 2 times on the Sarah panels with the Panelverse people, where people talked over me. Sarah allowed it to occur. If I would speak up, she would basically say it was my fault. So, I've explained this situation a dozen times. I get on Trippy's panel. Coder decides he's going to speak over me and spurg out. This was after me and Dusty had an exchange. Everything was going fine. I say, look, if you're going to keep talking over me, I'll just be silent. He decides, good, that's more time for me to talk. So I gave him all the time he needed and left. Simple. She says, Andrew sweeps for me. Andrew didn't need to sweep for me. And says that Trippy needed me for the views there. Absolutely true. As is evidenced by the fact the show was ruined without me there. Trippy himself, who was hosting the show, who is my partner, will admit he didn't really know much about the topic, so they were relying on me to debate the topic. If they're going to be smartasses and say, we'll just spurg out and talk over you, and the moderator's not going to do anything, fine, then go ahead and talk. They do need me for the show. That's the truth. And by the way, if that's not the case, if they don't need people like me or people like Andrew, why has Sarah's channel lost 5,000 subs? Third incident that she talks about, and this is out of order, but that it's me on the Panelverse when there was someone named Clay, I think was his name, and Dusty, and they're just being total goofs. This was the entire time they're interrupting me. We're going back and forth. It's just basically me and them talking. They come on and decided to talk about personal drama instead of what the topic was supposed to be about. I was the panelist. Dusty and me had previous interactions where he engaged in bad faith. Said that I said that only the left could commit violence when I showed that wasn't the case. Said, I don't want to talk to you anymore. So he comes on to discuss that. He admitted after this panel, by the way, with Sarah, he admitted that he was just lying on this panel. He did. He admitted it. I could bring the receipts. Maybe, if I find them. So in that, at one point where I said to Brick, hey, how about this? He says, I refuse to answer you. And I said, I don't understand what the point of me being here. Now, I thought the whole point of the open panel was the person who is the guest gets critiqued and questioned by the people that aren't guests, the open panel. That's what I thought was going on. So I'm saying to Sarah, why the fuck am I even here if the only two people that are talking are just bringing up drama and they're like, nope, we refuse to answer anything. So I said, it's me or them. I don't understand why I'm here. She said, I'm not going to boot them. If you don't want to be here, don't. And I was like, look, I clarified, I'm not saying it's an ultimatum that you have to boot them. I'm saying, what's the fucking point of this? Why am I sticking around? What's the point? That's it. And then her point is Andrew offered her a $10,000 ultimatum. You can check out the whole video if you like, but here. Oh. This is the day after that panel with Sarah. Dusty calls into my show. Again, after all this shit, I still allow Dusty to call into the show. Here we go. Where have I suggested censoring? I haven't suggested that. I'd say go for it.
You have to. I've heard you at least a handful of times. I was being disingenuous. So, yeah, you didn't say that stuff. I was misrepresenting you. That
all right.
When you say that the left is the only party of violence.
Did I say that?
Yes.
I think that you misrepresented me several times. I think you do it again here. Okay.
I did.
This video is going to be saying the left is the only party of violence.
Something to that effect. You didn't say that stuff. I was misrepresenting you. You present it as if this was a one-sided thing, as if Antifa's the one out here doing all this violence.
You misrepresented me several times. I think you do it again. Nothing I said there was inaccurate.
You are presenting an inaccurate picture. I was being disingenuous. So, yeah, you didn't say that stuff.
So, Dusty goes on the stream, says a bunch of bullshit. When I ask for proof of it, he refuses to give me proof. His little buddy, I forget what his name is, same type of shit. It's like, nope, I refuse to answer your questions. Dusty comes on the next day, admits, yep, I was being disingenuous. Okay? That's it. So she's welcome. Now I understand, Sarah needs to keep the drama. I could talk about the drama if I want, right? And by the way, thank you so much for all the financial support as I discuss this bullshit. One thing they don't realize is it doesn't hurt me to address this again. I don't give a fuck. I'm doing just great with my channel. I understand, though, they need to talk about it because here's the truth. Sarah and people like the rest of not all, but some of these people in the Panelverse that keep bringing this up day after day after day, they don't really have anything to talk about. They don't. They don't have shit all to say. They're not interesting people with interesting political thoughts. They're trolls. And then there's Sarah, who is someone who has done a reasonable job, I think, of setting up debates behind the scenes, but that's a shit mod. She relies on other people for her channel success. No one's really tuning into Sarah for Sarah. They're tuning into Sarah because she has debates where other people communicate. By the way, there's no shame in that. As I've said, no problem. But don't act like you're doing something great that people are tuning in for you. That's not what's going on. Now, I fully expected Sarah to, for those that don't know, what happened was there's a panel 3 hours, or after the Trippy thing, Dusty apparently has a show. It's like 3 hours where they're just talking shit on me as Sarah's sitting there laughing and shit. Didn't even really care about that. But then after they sent trolls over pretending to like be people that had questions or that support me or whatever for a call-in portion of the show, she said this. Maybe.
When people fuck with the Panelverse that way, right? If you're not a Panelverse person and you come in and you try to fuck with the Panelverse people, like they will all band together. Like you just can't do that. You can't go around to Panelverse shows and flip out on hosts and get mad at hosts or fuck with host shows and do that kind of stuff and then expect everyone to turn and look at you and be like, oh yeah, come on back. You know, like I think he doesn't know the power of the Panelverse.
I think you're
Did I get the wrong
absolutely
address for
correct.
the orgy?
I think he doesn't know the power of the Panelverse.
Oh shit! Not the Panelverse! Oh no! Not the fucking Panelverse! Beware the Panelverse! The foul of the Panelverse! Who could know the great Sarah Tomato? The power she wields, the power of the Panelverse. So, now, despite all of this, I don't really give a shit. Sarah did a big stream there last week or so where she talked about all of this, a big long stream. People asked me what I thought of it. Here's basically what I said. I think fucking Sarah sucks. I think she does. I think her moderation sucks. But hey, if she thrives and her channel thrives, so be it. More power to it. I don't care. I don't wish any ill will upon her channel. I don't have any problem with people of mine that still like Sarah. Perfectly fine. I don't have any problem with people that come on my show also going on Sarah's show. In fact, since then, I've recommended several times when people said, where's the best place if I want to get into debate? I said, listen, even though I don't really get along with her, the open panel idea is a good idea that Sarah does. And there's other open panels, but those are places to start out. I've told people I don't want anyone talking shit about her children or anything like that, that I thought it was beyond the pale. I didn't want people brigading her, anything like that. That's what I said. I was completely understanding that she's going to respond. Totally makes sense. And I don't mind that. And I don't mind if she responds about it every fucking day. I really don't care. She could have her entire channel, like Dusty's and others, just be, we're going to fucking just talk shit on Rob and Andrew or whoever every day. Hey, more power to you. And there will be a market for that. And that's fine. How great is that? Just the fact that I'm on here, I think it's amazing that my audience is helping me have this be my full-time job, which is amazing. But if I also, just by the fact that I'm streaming full-time, can help other channels by them just talking shit on me full-time and that be their job, more power to it. I feel like I'm spurring a little of the online economy, huh? Whoopee! But that's fine. If that's what they want to do, and I've largely moved on from it. Of course, someone in the call-in shows, if people ask about it, I address it. I play the little Panelverse clip, and then we move on. That's basically it. However, there was one comment that made me feel like I had to address this today. One comment. And that's why I'm gonna, And I think that this says everything. So I'm gonna lay it all on the table here. Right? And it's a comment. Someone sent me this, which I thought was absolutely hilarious. Now, on Sarah's video here, there's already people talking, commenting underneath it. See? So someone screenshotted this, so I had to go through to see if this was real. And it's real. So I can't help myself. When I saw this comment that Sarah herself made underneath her own video, I figured, okay, then I'll respond to this. Here's what she says. By the way, I know Sarah's watching this now, or some of her goober troll friends are, and this will eventually get back to her. So Sarah, let me tell you why I'm addressing this. You ready? It's this comment. Have you seen all the trash talking videos there are about me? Whatever. I even sent Rob a raid to be nice, and he still talked crap. That's what she said. Now, let me tell you what happened. This was the other night. I don't really remember what night it was, but we're streaming, we're having fun. We're not talking about the Sarah drama or anything like that. And Sarah decided she was going to do another video talking shit on me. In fact, if I don't remember, the original title of the video people told me was something about, had my name in it. I don't remember the specifics. Again, I didn't give a shit all night. People were like, oh, did you see Sarah has a video that's specifically about you, the name's specifically about you. I don't care. Of course, she's changed the name of the video afterwards. Real brave she is. So after her video talking shit on me, criticizing me, and I presume criticizing Andrew, she decided then she was going to raid me. Yeah, Spiro was on, so was Avarice. It was just me, Spiro, and Avarice talking. I think it was the Thursday show. We were making fun of the fact that Avarice is rich and Spiro isn't. Good stuff. Wednesday night into Thursday morning. Okay. So after the bullshit that she's talking, she's like, oh, I guess we'll raid Rob, but everybody be nice. Now, the fact that she's out there trying to claim that was her being nice. Does anyone believe that? Is there anyone out there dumb enough? Is even the most sycophantic Rob hater and Sarah liker, does anyone believe that? Of course, then that resulted in 2 people saying they were going to mass report me to get my channel banned. Everybody knows what's going on. You talk shit on someone for 4 hours and then go, we're going to raid over to them. What did you think? And that's her trying to be like, oh, I'm being nice. No, it wasn't sucking up. That's not even sucking up. What it is she wanted them to talk shit. That's what was going on. It's blatant. That's what happened. And now that she's like, oh no, I was trying to be nice. After I talked shit on you for 4 hours and then raided you, that was my attempt to be nice. Now, I don't give a fuck that she did it. It was childish. So as soon as she did it, I responded in kind. Was like, thanks so much for sending your 24 raiders over. Wow. Awesome. You gonna have a 15,000 sub stream? And now that's her saying, I tried to be nice through this raid and Rob talked crap. Now, I want you to know this is who she is. Dang, yell more. It's the way I talk. Fuck you. How about that? When she sends me messages behind the scene and says, oh, Rob, let me give you some advice on how to debate in the panel. That's not her being nice. That's her being a condescending asshole. When she sends a raid over and says, after she talks shit for 5 hours and says, oh, I was just doing that to be nice. That's her, not her being nice. That's her being a petty asshole. So I just wanted to be clear. That's the part that I find most interesting about this. She's going to run with this narrative. I tried to be nice. I tried to raid Rob after I talked shit on him and then set in the chat. And when I saw that people were saying, I'm going to mass report Rob, I said, oh, I forget what the first comment she said. Try to do something nice for someone. Oh, and by the way, I'm against mass reporting. She was not trying to be nice. There is no assuming she was trying to be nice. Her video was discussing about how me and Andrew Wilson, or Andrew sending me out to different channels to get the channels banned. And then she raids me. And then says she was trying to be nice about it. What all this about is it's one thing. This is what's happening. It's one thing. Regardless of what she thinks about herself, she realizes her channel's in trouble, and this is a way to try to monetize or get some clicks out of it. That's it. That's what's going on. It's an admission. An absolute admission that she understands the views in her trouble are going to be in trouble. So, I understand the new business model of Sarah and her little Panelverse trolls is just to talk about me all the time. Perfectly fine. No problem. But don't act like you're trying to do me any favors when you talk shit on me on a channel or a show for 4 hours and then raid me and be like, oh, that was me trying to be nice. You're right. Good point. I should just ignore the people spreading shit. I don't care. I'm allowed to address it if I want. I rarely address it, and I can address it when I feel like it. Anyways, that's that. As far as to whether the Jewish cousin business, was that someone that came from Sarah's channel? I don't know or give a shit. Andrew's allowed to think what he wants. I'm not convinced this was a troll from Sarah's channel. She did mention that she was at one point a fan of Sarah's or a friend of Sarah's. No, I'm not drinking tomato. I'm drinking Energy Rush. Whoa. Yes, the Jewish cousin of Rachel Wilson, whose name is also Andrew Wilson. I don't know. But here's the deal. I'm still not wishing Sarah's channel to fail. I don't give a shit. At the end of the day, this is still online petty drama from all the characters involved. No one's threatened my family, any shit like that. So, there's much more important shit. This isn't that big of a deal. I just think it's illustrative of sort of this passive-aggressive bullshit that you see so many people do. Oh, I was just trying to help you. I'm just sending a raid over after I talked shit on you for 5 hours. Oh, how couldn't you accept that that was me trying to help you? That's all it was, me trying to help you. Oh, I sent you messages saying that, like, you need to understand that the point of the open panels is for people to talk over you, and you're an easy target, and you shouldn't complain about it, and maybe you're just not fit for the panel. That's just me trying to help you. Okay. Well, then all I was trying to do when I talked shit on your channel, Sarah, was trying to help you. Fair? By the way, I don't see what the point is anyways. Didn't she say she's better off without me and without Andrew? Isn't that what she said? So why is she upset? I suppose she should be thanking me. Because my criticism of her eventually led to Andrew saying I don't want to work with her anymore, and now she feels freed. Now, the point is, this is so much of what you see in politics today, particularly coming from the left. That they'll gaslight you about this shit. Oh, when I say that everything you're saying is racist, that's me trying to help you. I hate this fucking passive-aggressive bullshit that you see all the time from the left. Constantly the same bullshit. Glennis says, it's called a hate raid. It was a big problem on Twitch for a while. They made it a bannable offense. I don't know about that. I don't want her banned or any shit like that. No, I understand the people that are like, I'm tired of hearing this drama. Me too. But I wanted to cover it because of that one sentence. I just tried to help Rob by raiding him. You didn't. That's okay. Just say the truth. Fuck Rob. I was talking shit on him. I raided over. Fuck him. It's fine. But don't I tried to do Rob a favor and then he rudely made fun of me when I raided over to him. Okay. So that's it. Now, the last thing I'll say about it, I know the nature of my show is I do a lot of call-ins. And I'm well aware that there will be people legitimately ask me about these sort of topics on call-ins. And so, even as though it's been evident recently where I'm like, thank you. Yeah, I don't know. And then just try to move on from it. People are still going to be interested in it and it's still going to be brought up. And I also know that's going to lead to trolls, whether they be trolls that are Sarah fans, trolls that are lefties, or just trolls in general that are going to take advantage of the fact that I have open call-ins that are going to want to fuck with me. I get that. And there's nothing I could really do about that. So it's going to come up. But I totally understand the people in my audience that are like, I'm tired of hearing about this shit. Yeah, me too. Yesterday, one of the trolls that called in during the initial night where all this shit went down, this guy in the top right.
When people fuck with the Panelverse that way.
His name's, let's be honest there. That dude's called in 4 or 5 times since then. I called him a troll. He said, are you always going to think I'm a troll? I said, yeah. He's like, oh, I said, if I come into your house and steal from you The first time you meet me, would you invite me back into your house? He said no, I banned him. It's inevitable that it's going to be brought up. Mostly I try to ignore it. Someone says something, I play the little Panelverse video, haha, we have a chuckle, we move on. I haven't talked about it much. I understand that this is going to be their entire business model, etc., etc. I'm not really interested. So I don't want to talk to Dusty or to Radical Coder. Well, Coder's different. Coder, I'm teaching a lesson. Coder actually argues. He just wanted to be a big man that night. Well, okay. But the rest of them, trolls. That's all. So, but I get it. I get the people that are like, I'm fucking tired of hearing this. It's not what I talk about. So, on that note, we will move on here. We're going to do a call-in show today until about 2:30, maybe 2:30. Excuse me. Then I'll be on the Crucible's Rumble stream today for the Extravaganza from 5 till 6. Then at 9 p.m. tonight, we're going to have Ryan Mullally, an attorney. We're going to be doing our first episode of a semi-weekly show that we have coming up. We're thinking of calling it Law and Order. Oh. How about that? That'll be at 9 p.m. So we should be doing that show every other Monday. Which, by the way, I'll message him, make sure. So that's where we're going. Other than that, we'll talk about the topics that you like today. As soon as I bring up my channel so that I can pin the tweet. 1 second. Okay. So, put the link out there. Call and talk about anything you want. If you want to talk about this drama shit, that's fine. I pretty much said most of what I have to say about it. Whatever you guys want to talk about, I did address it. Whether it be the the accusations, the video, the accusations of Rachel Wilson, or the woman that called in and said that Rachel Wilson is secretly Jewish, and a distant cousin of hers also happened to named Andrew Wilson called in and told her. We can talk about that. We can talk about the bullshit drama here. There's other topics we can talk about. There were comments Trump made about stopping Christian slaughter in Nigeria. We can talk about the thoughts you have of that. The government shutdown. Tomorrow, Election Day, which is something I will talk about before we leave here today. So you make sure you all go out and vote if you're in the States here. As long as you've tried to inform yourself in any way, shape, or form. I assume you have. Hence, you're watching sort of shows that talk about politics. That's sort of my guess. So important to talk about that. And then any other topics that you may have. We're going to keep it TOS friendly. That means the following things. No racial slurs, no homophobic slurs, no calls to violence. I don't want to hear shit about anyone. If you're talking about any of these people in any of these drama, I don't want to hear shit about their family, about how, they're a bad husband, or they're a bad father, or a bad mother, or a bad wife. I don't really give a shit about any of that, so I don't want to hear about it. So don't even bother. I don't care. I just don't give a shit. So just saying. And then, yeah, there was another conversation people had about people, not people that I particularly enjoy, but like Brittany Venti, and I saw someone else were putting videos of themselves up wearing like blackface. How bad is that? Compare that to the people that were, like Kyle Kalinske that was making fun of Charlie Kirk's wife, saying they had outfits of, fake grieving wife making fun of Charlie Kirk, implying she's fake. How do you compare blackface to like what Drewski did, where he wore whiteface and went to like a NASCAR race? Those are potential subjects that we could talk about. Fenty's black, the other chick wasn't, but whatever. Anyways, your job is to keep getting super chats in. Send me good callers. We already got a lot, so we're going to jump right in. As soon as I read these super chats. Nate, $2 says, like the effing stream ninja, 180 more likes required. Thank you, man. Menace to sobriety. Sobriety, $2 says, Aunt Flo State and her raging dust bunnies. Nat Talk, thanks so much for the 5 gifted subs. Really appreciate it. James A. Fish, $5 says, proud member of the 5,001 subbed after your debate with Connor, the Uber Spurglet. Think on that, Sarah. Yeah, I mean, that was even before the fallout I had with Sarah. The Connor thing, it was ridiculous. And Nat Talk, $5 says, I'd love to drop in for a call today, but work's flat out. So I'll just toss in some more towards the grift. Hopefully we can converse soon. Yeah, sure. I'll be doing a call-in show tomorrow. All right. Keep getting those super chats in. No, I didn't see it. Where did you drop it? Oh, that's nice. Manted, also, while the call-in's going, I did a big document for Pearl Davis that's going to apply 95% here. So I'm going to drop that too, and we'll see what you think about that. That's awesome, though. Yeah, good shit. All right. First up, let's bring in our first guest. Fallen Heathen. What's happening, man? How you doing today?
I promise I'll be quick. I know I've been calling in like almost every day.
That's all right.
So, there's all this looting and stuff's already sounds like it's kicking off. Tim Pool just did a video talking about it. But another aspect to this, which we saw during the pill epidemic, was people leaving the store, with a big haul of groceries and getting jammed up in the parking lot and getting their groceries stolen from them. We saw that during the pill epidemic where, old folks were getting followed home after leaving the pharmacy, and then all their, pills would get stolen. That's probably going to be an aspect of this too, where people are getting robbed for their groceries leaving the store. So be careful. Yeah. Going out grocery shopping at night. And another thing is, a lot of people don't understand when you see a lot of people are going to take advantage of this situation because they're already expecting the chaos and people robbing and stuff. There's like black market stores that people run out of their houses where if you see somebody stealing a bunch of laundry detergent, deodorants and stuff like that, they're selling it to another person who then runs like a supermarket out of their house where they're selling all that stuff to the community. So I think we're going to see a lot of that too, just people taking advantage of the situation and stealing.
I totally agree. I think that, I look for this to end by the end of the week, if not early next week. I think that the Democrats, as I said yesterday, are intentionally allowing this to go through the election tomorrow so that they could use this as sort of a rallying cry. That's what I believe is going on. However, I do think that you're going to see people, and it's because they've been gaslit into believing that they're entitled to this. Like, you look at some of these videos, presuming that they're true. Some of the videos are fake, like people just for clicks are putting, I'm going to loot things. But some of them are real. And like, you could tell that like they truly feel entitled. It's truly like, hey, we're owed this money and I'm not working. Fuck you. And so you're stealing from me. That's how they look at it. If we don't send them their food stamps, we're stealing from them. So we'll steal from you.
Yeah.
Now, of course, we're not stealing from them. Not giving someone charity isn't stealing or stopping charity to them. And that still has nothing to do, even if you did get pissed about that, with the store you're stealing from.
Yeah.
That aren't the people that are stopping the charity from you. So it illustrates, I hope that something that happens for this, and I'm skeptical that this will work out, the EBT program is fucked. It is rife with fraud. It's rife with just sort of the idea that it's inefficient, and a lot of people benefit from this at the expense of the taxpayer. A huge percentage of national grocery stores chains come from EBT spending. Huge percentage of that money goes to things like soda, which drives up the cost of those products and makes it more expensive for everyone else. And then, that ends up then we're paying for people to get unhealthy food, and then we're paying for those same people to get medical care because of the unhealthy food that they're consuming.
100%.
So I hope that one possible thing that could come out with this is that possibly Republicans wise up, and I think this is a winning issue, and start pushing on. We're going to have more controls over EBT.
Yeah.
We're going to control what you could purchase with it. We're going to control who gets it. Now, never underestimate Republicans' ability to fail, but hopefully that's something that will come out of it,
Do you think it would be better for the government just to work with grocery stores instead of handing people money? Like actually work with grocery stores and be like, look, this is what we need you guys to put lots together of food, special dietary needs, chicken, ground beef, these kinds of things. And, family of 5 gets this lot, stuff like that, to kind of allocate it and just work directly with the grocery
I think
stores.
that would be too complicated. The easier thing to do, especially seeing as how now the cards are digital, just say that there's only certain products that could be purchased.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like produce, meat, that's it.
Yeah.
And then have it set up that, there's some special scanning code. That it has to meet this scanning code when you scan it in Walmart or in Costco or wherever, that it comes up as food stamp eligible. That already exists. Yeah. There's already stuff that's food stamp eligible and stuff that's not, right? So just narrow that to being like, look, we're going to work with like RFK and nutritionalists and say, here is nutritional food. Here's what you're allowed to get. That ain't going to be potato chips. It ain't going to be cookies. It ain't going to be soda. It's going to be staples. Now, I'm not exactly saying that it has to intentionally be stuff that tastes like shit. That's not what I'm saying. Man, get yourself some nice pork chops, right? Buy a $3 can of seasoning. Fire it up, man. That's better than the garbage fucking bullshit potato chips you're eating anyways.
Yeah.
Right? So it's not that. It's not that it's cruel for the sake of being cruel. It's the idea that people aren't using this for their basic necessities. That's what this is supposed to be. It's supposed to be temporary safety net, so that people could get their nutrition while they've fallen on hard times. It's not supposed to be a way of life. We also need to start aggressively prosecuting both businesses and individuals that engage in EBT fraud, such as intentionally selling their food stamps so that they could get money to purchase drugs or alcohol or cigarettes. And when you get caught for that, we ought to increase the penalty. Throw someone's ass in jail for 5 years for that shit.
I mean, it should be a federal crime, right? I mean, any other kind of stuff like that you try to lie to the federal government, you get in quite a bit of trouble for, mail fraud and stuff like that. Yeah, I mean, if this looting keeps up, we're going to get to a point where you can't even go to grocery stores anymore. They're already locking everything up. Pretty soon it's going to be, you have to order everything online and you can just go to the store for pickup, or they're going to turn every aisle into like a vending machine where you have to put in everything you want. All the stores in California, everywhere, everything's locked up. It's wild.
It's totally insane. And, the idea that it's going to get worse if people don't get their food stamps, so they're going to go out and riot. Look, make an example of these people.
Yeah.
Like, listen, even if you feel, like, let's assume how this could work for me, hypothetically, right? I've paid into Social Security my whole life. Rand Paul's out there saying you should have to be 70 to collect Social Security. I'm 41. Theoretically, 30 years from now, when I'm 70, 29 years, when I'm 70, let's say they move it back to 70. They could, 20 years from now, say, you know what? Sorry, dude. It's not going to be there for you. You're not going to get it. Now, that sucks. That's money that I had planned on, that I was told I was entitled to because I paid into it, right? In fact, I probably paid in more than I'll ever be able to take out.
Yeah.
Especially if you factor in, if instead of being forced to pay that to the government, if I would have put it into like modest investments, how much it would have turned over, and I would have been left with a much larger pool of money. But I was forced to do that. So I'm forced to pay into it under the promise that you'll eventually get this money. And then the government says, no, you don't get this money. What's the appropriate response? I just start fucking looting people?
Yeah.
No. Right? Like, that's not the
70,
answer.
Yeah, at 70 years old, you go start looting stores.
I mean, it's incredible, though. That's the mentality. This was promised to me and I didn't get it. Therefore, I'll loot. Bullshit.
Yeah.
That's not what, it is not the way to handle this. If you don't like it, then mobilize, try to push. And if you're in a position where you're literally starving to death, then get your story out there, and some charitable cause will take. The truth is, though, the vast majority of people, that's not the cause. It isn't that without their EBT, they're literally going to starve to death. It's that the EBT supplements so much of their income that they're spending elsewhere. And, here's how I put it, it seems like a different conversation, but it's actually similar. People ask, like, what are rights? What should rights be? Like, is food a right? Is housing a right? All of this shit. Now, the conversation of what a right is difficult anyways, but let's say that there is something about certain things that we would say without it, people can't live. For example, food. If you literally can't intake food, you'll die. Clean water. Yep. Healthcare? You might say, well, yeah. Well, here's how I know it's not the same as food and water. If you didn't have food or water, you would be doing everything possible to get food or water. And that might mean you're selling your dirt bike. You're selling your PlayStation. You're not paying the internet bill. I can't live because I haven't had a drink, right? But that's not the case with healthcare. I knew many, many people growing up that didn't have healthcare but had season tickets to the Pirates or had computers and video games and right, had all these extra shit, dirt bikes, four-wheelers, but they didn't have healthcare. And so when they come to the government, please give us free healthcare. We can't exist without healthcare. Sell your fucking four-wheeler, man. What are you doing? And like, I understand it's like, yeah, but people deserve some entertainment in their life. Of course. That's true. But that doesn't mean that we, the people, should have to pay for that entertainment. And if money's fungible, and it's like, well, this guy's either got to have a four-wheeler or he's going to pay for healthcare. And we say, you know what, we'll pay for his healthcare so he gets the four-wheeler. In effect, what happened was we just paid for that dude's four-wheeler. That's what happened. It's the same with EBT. Most of these people aren't starving. Most of these people have all sorts of, they're going to get their nails done, or they're going out to the bar, or they're going to sports competitions, or they're buying a PlayStation.
Their kids wearing Jordans.
Right. And now, is it true that I don't think it's necessarily terrible for people to do those things? No, of course not. Have fun in life. Have some entertainment. You'd be miserable if you have no entertainment. But don't bullshit me that you're going to starve to death. What you mean is, I won't be able to do that fun shit.
Yeah. If
I have to pay for my own groceries. And I'm sorry, that's not what the intended purpose of the program was. Yeah. And the idea that there are millions of people that we're financing this lifestyle where they're out there doing all this bullshit instead of working. And then they come to us with this sob story pretending they don't have all this excess money, right? And they're like, but we'll starve to death. Is absolute bullshit. Now, to those that legitimately need this product as a short-term safety net, yeah, I do feel bad for them, but I don't know what the response is. Tell the fucking Democrats to not shut down the government then. I don't know what to say. What's the alternative? We just fund in perpetuity, EBT? Something needs to change. And if you're one of the legitimate people that are using it, then you ought to be infuriated by the many, many people that are using it illegitimately. That's where you should start your anger, right? If me and you start up a local soup kitchen and a bunch of assholes take advantage of it and make a scene, and finally we say, you know what? We can't do the soup kitchen anymore. It's becoming too much of a burden, right? Yes, I can understand the person who really needed that soup kitchen being upset at me and you, but you should be more upset at the people that exploited the situation. They're the ones who caused it.
They should be speaking up and, being more vocal, the people that actually do need it, how all these other people are fucking it up for them.
So that's basically what I think of. Now, again, I look for, I totally look for the shutdown to be lifted by the end of the week.
Yeah.
All right, I think after tomorrow it'll be lifted. But hopefully people take from this the entitlement that people have that, fuck you, the government deserves to pay me because I'm a victim. And if you don't, then fuck you, I'll use violence and loot. Those are the types of people we're dealing with. Not all of them, but there's a decent portion of people that believe that way.
Yeah, they're like little bratty kids throwing a fit because you wouldn't buy them a toy at the grocery store. Basically, man, I know grocery shopping with your wife sucks, but I suggest you go with your wife to the store from here on out, and I'll let her go to the store at 9:00 at night by herself and keep an eye out, because if it doesn't get lifted, it's probably going to get ugly.
That's true, but I will say anything's possible anywhere, but I happen to live in an area of the world where it's very unlikely to get hairy, because we still have a high trust society where I'm at.
Yeah, well, for everyone,
but anything's possible.
Anyone living in the city, be aware, keep your head on a swivel.
Well, hey, thanks, Fallen Heathen. Always appreciate it, man.
Yes, sir. Take it easy.
All right, take it easy. All right, super chats. AJC $10 says, if I was her, I'd be mad too. Watching that dono goal get completed twice a day, all the time, sometimes over 100%. Rob's got griff game, and we all know it. Speaking of which, let's try to get that goal to 50% before our next caller, which we're going to be taking soon. Thanks, AJC. AJC again, $5 says, sorry, I was behind the live stream on that previous super chat. Just got caught up. No problem. Get those super chats in. Even $5 would help. We appreciate it here. I mean, in fairness, I also beg for the goal. But I've been doing pretty good, so I can't complain. I can't complain, but sometimes I still do. Little Joe Walsh for you. It's one of my favorite lines in music history. Life's been good. You guys know that song? Another good line from that song. I go to parties sometimes until 4. It's hard to leave when you can't find the door. I've been there. I'm drunk at a party ready to leave, and I'm like, where the hell am I? How do I get out of this house? I sympathize Joe Walsh. Though, for me, I spent like 10 years like that. Joe Walsh has spent an entire lifetime. I like shopping with my wife, if I'm honest. I like going out with my son and my wife shopping. Everyone's always like, the wife, spends excess money. It's me. And it's not on food. It's on toys for my son. In fact, I got to rein it in. Sometimes I'm bad. So it's always like, come on. Hank always goes, Mom, I got an idea. You go get the food, and me and Dad will go to the toy section. That's what he always says. I'm like, okay. And he's very smart. He always makes sure to pick my wife out flowers if we're at a grocery store that has flowers, because he knows by buttering her up. Smart kid. I love him. He's the best. Braden, can you steel man the government shutdown is the Republicans' fault? Yes. He does. He always gets you the flowers first. All right. I don't know that we're going to get to 50% of the goal before we bring in our next caller. No, Avarice, I'm going to save you since you generously offered to let people come in front of you. So, Joshua, what's happening, my friend? Oh, you might be muted, man. Try going into your settings. Sometimes it has a different mic set. We don't have drums for Hank yet, but his grandfather's house has a little drum set, and he's a maniac. Still can't hear you, man.
Working.
There you go. There, I got you.
Awesome. Sorry, Rob, man. It's just
no problem.
A long freaking. Ooh. So, couple of quick things on the food stamps thing. First of all, let's stop calling them entitlements. They're not entitlements. You're not entitled to shit.
Right.
You need to be working or proving that you're looking for work. As a guy who's been looking for work for the last 2 months, I just found some part-time stuff, but you need to be hustling. We need to stop doing that. And just as a little tidbit on that, do you know that people on food stamps spend twice the money on food as people not on food stamps?
I've seen this, so I don't know that it's quite twice, but it is exorbitantly higher. Yeah. At least the data I've seen, it really is. So first, let me say your first point. Yeah, it is weird, right? The term entitlement is weird. And let me be quite clear. My family's been on food stamps in their life.
So
right?
ours, yeah.
And there's no shame in that. Everyone, look, here's the deal. I don't care who you are. I don't care if you were born into a billionaire family.
Shit happens.
Everybody needs help sometimes. Now, some of us are very lucky that we have a network around us that could pick us up when we fall down. Whether that's because we know someone who's wealthy, and so if we have a financial problem, they could help us out, or it's just that we have loving friends, family. even if it's not financially. We all need people to help us. And a lot of people don't have that financial backing. And I don't have a problem saying, as a country, we should have some sort of limited social safety net. Perfectly fine. However, you're right. We need to make sure that that's what it is, and it's not a way of life guaranteed to people. That's never been the intended purpose, nor should it be. And that's bad for two reasons. Because one, the rest of us that have to foot that bill, it's unfair to us to fund people's way of life like this. And secondly, it's not doing those people any favors. Yeah. It's making them reliant perpetually.
Entitled brats.
It's right. It basically makes them perpetual children living at home with their parents that never have to learn, like, no, you got to go out and do shit for yourself. As long as that safety, as long as that way of life's there for them, screw it. I'll just sit here. I'll live with mom the rest of my life. And who cares if I get fired from my job? Fuck it, mom. I don't pay bills anyways. Yeah. And I'll just tell mom, I still want to go to that concert. She'll give me the money. Yep. That's what effectively happens. So you're absolutely right. We should be making sure that, you know, and let me, one last thing I'll say, and one more caveat. There are people that have suffered some horrendous injury or were born in a situation where I don't have a problem saying, yes, I get it. They're incapable of working a job that would be, that I understand. But that's not what we're talking about. We're not talking about the fringe cases. We're talking about able-bodied people that fall on hard times, and instead of saying, hey, let's make sure you're out there trying to work, we're going to put a limit on what you could get here, we're going to try to help you get work, we need you to prove that you're out getting work, we need you to prove that you can pass a drug test, whatever.
And most of these people are people that don't need to eat more food.
That's true.
You know, okay, so let me get to the point of my call here. So tomorrow, I don't know if you've heard. By the way, let me apologize for sounding like Kermit the Frog.
It's all right.
You know,
dude, you know what I get all the time, that I sound like Booger from Revenge of the Nerds. So it don't bother me in the least bit. You're fine.
I have absolute power. Yeah. So there is a big protest going or planned for tomorrow at the White House. I don't know if you've heard of this. Refusefascism.org is their website, and I need some help. First of all, the purpose of the protest is to get Trump out of office, okay? Because obviously they're claiming he's a fascist. Now, first of all, at what point do you call that an insurrection?
Well, it depends. My argument is...
I have another one coming.
Yeah, my argument is they should be held to the same standard that they wanted to hold us to. So what they called an insurrection when they said January 6th, they defined it as very broadly. I debated these people over and over. They said there were 4 parts to it, right? Is it for a public purpose? Yeah. Is it a collection of people? Yeah. Are they using violence and intimidation? Yeah. Okay, insurrection. In fact, I can show you real quick.
And did they need to just stop a public proceeding as Destiny's bullshit?
Assemblage of people united for a common reason, yes. Resisting the implementation or execution of a law or interfering with the course of government, yes. Force or intimidation, yes. For public purpose, yes. That's it. That qualifies. Now, personally, what I would consider an insurrection is, you know, more broadly, a serious attempt to overthrow the government, right? Or some portion of it, like Chaz Zone would be an insurrection. They literally stole federal land, or I don't want to say federal. They stole land that belonged to...
Well, no, there was a federal building that they actually took over. So but even if it's an insurrection.
Even if it's not federal, right, it's government, even if it's state or local. They stole land that wasn't theirs and said, we secede from this country, from this state, from this city. Yeah. That like, what would be the difference between domestic people doing that, or if the French government came over and said, this 6 blocks is ours. It's now French government property. You know, that would be an act of war. An insurrection is, it's not a foreign entity doing that. It's from within.
Okay. So here's my last question. And what I want you to do, and your audience, because I want you to actually see this, Google definition of fascism.
Okay.
I want you to actually type that into Google.
Well, specifically Google?
Google, I don't know about the other search engines.
I use Brave, but I mean...
No, I mean Google.com.
Okay.
Yeah.
I will do Google.
Because the words that are similar and the antonyms are very funny to me.
So you want me to use the AI overview that it is?
I don't know if I can send it to you.
Here, I will show you what I'm looking at, and you tell me if I'm wrong, or if this is what you're talking about. So I just
Yeah, it's
went
just
to
the thing that
Google.com.
appears. Yeah, you don't even have to click a link.
Just up top there.
Um,
Fascism is a far-right authoritarian political ideology.
Yeah,
that's okay. So fascism is a far-right authoritarian political ideology and system characterized by a strong centralized government led by a dictatorial leader who exalts the nation and often a specific race above the individual. It features extreme nationalism, suppression of opposition, and a totalitarian grip on society, viewing war and conflict as constructive. Other key traits include aggressive militarism, the suppression of individual rights and liberty, and the use of propaganda and violence to maintain control.
Okay. So now help me understand here. So we have this political spectrum. We like to draw like the little, like a number line, right? And over on the far left, we put, the communism and socialism. And then as you get more toward the center and then to the right, you've got Republicans, conservatism, libertarianism, and then like, I guess anarchy goes on the far end, right? So how does
authoritarianism?
That word. Yeah. Sorry, it's been a long.
It's all right. No
it's been
problem.
about 36 hours since I slept. How does that fall in line on the far right when that involves more government, which generally the further right you go, the less government you have? How is this? I need two things: a good working definition of fascism, and how in the does this fall on the right?
So, I mean, if I'm trying to steelman the position, you basically have two things of like what we consider right wing is interesting, right? You have economic policy and you have social policy. So it always was weird to me that basically the sort of libertarian or the anarchy position is small government economically,
no government,
small government socially, or no government economically, no government socially, right? Whereas like massive authoritarian would be complete government control economically, complete government control socially.
Which is the definition you just read.
Right.
If
so
you
then,
take the right part out, the definition you just read falls to the left, right?
Right. But then what we have with the Republican Party is, hypothetically, small government economically, big government socially. So they'll say no gay marriage, no weed. We have the right to tell you how to live your life, but we won't take as much tax dollars. Democrats are big government economically, but small government socially. This is in
but wait a minute. But Democrats are the ones that are saying like your kids can get a sex change without talking to the parents. But
let me be clear. Two things on that. Let me be clear. One, this is in theory. You could also say, wait a minute, governments or Republicans are economically small. Of course, no, right. You're right. They're not.
That's true.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's in theory. That issue specifically, they'll say, yes, we think that the children should be allowed to make these decisions without the parents, and that's less government. Right? That's less government. More government would be saying, no, the child cannot make this decision because we say that it would be illegal. So they'll still say, no, this falls into the purview of less government.
Right, okay, but who are they going to go to get that sex change? They're not going to the parents, so they got to go to the government, right? Or some government entity to get the sanctuary to get it done, right?
Nonetheless, again, so that's big government economically.
And then who's going to, I was going to say who's going to pay for that, right? So
right, but you see the point. What I'm saying, it doesn't matter. The specific details in this don't matter. Yes, to your overarching point, like there are people that say that an anarchist sort of like swings around, and you could be a far left anarchist and a far right anarchist. But yes, to your point, if you on some metrics of how you would define the left and right, the total end sphere of the right would be complete anarcho, like capitalist, like free market, ANCAP. And so it's like that's the opposite of an authoritarian. Because they're literally like, no, we don't believe in massive government, right? So you could say, I mean, there's a huge, like, who are groups that we consider fascist? Well, in Germany, the National Socialists, right?
Well, of course, yeah.
Okay, but are the National Socialists right-wing economically?
I don't think
so.
No,
they seem left-wing.
They wanted to control the means of production. Anybody who watched Schindler's List, you want a history lesson, it's pretty good.
Yes.
Hollywood actually got it right on that one.
So then the question becomes, okay, if we said that they're more of lefty, they're more akin to socialism, the National Socialists, and they're fascist, then how could you say that it's only far right? Well, what they'll say is basically, when you get right down to it, the important part, because let's just cut the bullshit. Here's the argument I have with the people that complain about fascism. Fascism's it's a label, right? And it's made up of all of these things. So what is it about these things that we don't like, right? Like if I was to say to you, like, I hate Democrats, and you said, well, why? I would have to tell you a bunch of things that Democrats stand for or do I dislike. So when you say, I hate fascism, we must root out fascism, and it's like, okay, why? You're going to be like, because it's authoritarian. Because it tells people what they can and can't do. It silences opposition. It uses force. Well, geez, that sounds an awful lot like the last 4 years. That's what it sounds like to me. It sounds like when they're pressuring social media to censor people like me, that sounds like authoritarianism.
When they're sending the government after churches and religious groups.
January 6th nonviolent people, when they're going after pro-life protesters, that sounds like when they're going after political opposition. That sounds like authoritarianism to me.
I remember a thing with some sort of virus that was spreading around that we had to wear some sort of face thing.
But you understand how they get out of this. This is what they say. No, but the definition of fascism is it has to be right-wing. But that's the point. It's like the word fascism means very little to me. What you're really complaining about is like the authoritarianism. Like, for example, the idea that the Trump administration may censor your ability to speak. That's what you're really bitching about. Right? Well, we see examples of that happening on the left, and you saying, yeah, but that's technically not fascism. It doesn't matter. For example, if you said part of fascism is police agents shooting their opponents, and I said, oh, yeah, we agree that's bad. Now, let me show you examples of that happening under Biden, and you saying, no, we don't care about that because that's left-wingers doing it, so therefore it's not a problem. That proves that you're full of shit. Well, it's very similar when you get to the specifics of like kids in cages. Kids in cages under Trump, fascism, terrible. Twice as many kids in cage under Biden, not fascism. Okay. So it's the specifics that matter. And once more, what it is they control the language. They control a label. They say, we define fascism, just like racism. Racism, only white people can be racist. You can't be a person of color and be racist. And then they'll say, well, did you know that white people are far more racist than black people? Right, because you've defined it as black people can't be racist. Right? It's the same when they do these studies saying right-wing violence way worse than left-wing violence. Then you look at how they define it. Well, prison violence is all right-wing violence. Racial supremacist violence is all right-wing violence. And all this shit.
This all refers back to that Cato, that bogus. Where I get a little perplexed here is whenever I ask somebody to define, they use this word to define Trump. They use this word to define the people that voted for him, and to try and get some understanding of what it is where they're coming from. Nobody can even define
racist authoritarian. That's what they're saying. It's literally that simple. Racist authoritarian. That's what they're trying to say.
It's
okay to be authoritarian as long as you're a good person. Trump's not a good person. He's a racist. Therefore, it's bad authoritarianism. Said it. They're not upset about authoritarian. They're not even upset about racism. They just don't like their opponents. They're accusing Trump of being a racist, bigotrous, and authoritarian. That's it.
Could we be real here for a minute and say, I think both sides are guilty a little bit of this, but the left probably significantly more. The right's been guilty of this in the past. It depends on what you want to look at and how you want to look at it. I don't have. Okay, I'm not going to dance around it. Depending on your perspective on homosexuality, in the past, conservatives, pre-Obama, were pretty staunchly against homosexuality, and now it seems to be a normalized thing, right? So, conservatives have done a little bit of this, but the left has done this so much more than the right in the past since Obama. The last 16 years. And I don't understand. I'll kind of, I guess, end with this. There's one thing that Destiny has said that I agree with. One thing, which is Democrats and Republicans both believe in bigger government. It just depends on what you're looking at, right? So conservatives, we absolutely want bigger government when it comes to national defense. We should be better than everyone else. But when it comes to impacting our personal liberties, no, we want smaller government for that. I had to drive.
It
So
depends. It depends on how you look at it.
I got
Like
a
gay
DMV.
marriage. Is that a personal liberty?
So in my view, because I come from a Christian perspective, Christian background, no,
Weed,
that is not
alcohol, cigarettes.
I don't have a problem with weed, alcohol, and
All right, but Republicans are more likely to want to make that stuff illegal than Democrats, right?
Sure. Well, instead what we did is just made cigarettes cost $100 a pack. So
I understand, but that's sort of Republicans normally on the side of more pushing against that.
I mean,
so I don't know. I mean, in general, you're not wrong. Sure.
So really quick, a couple days ago, I had to go to the DMV, or I don't know what you guys call it, the place where you get your driver's license. I had to renew my drive. I've got one that's about a minute and a half from the house here, right? Okay. And I drive over there. Oh no, it's by appointment only, and it's a 3-month wait. January 20th was the earliest that I could go to get, and I had to have my license renewed so that I could do the I-9 form for employment, right? Because now everything is through that whole federal. So I had to drive like an hour drive to the next DMV to get it taken. And we want more government involved. Like that to me is it's a perfect example of like ludicrousness. It's a thing that the government's involved. I don't want bigger government for that. And lastly, I'm going to let you go because you got people and I'm not that important. I really appreciate you, Rob. And I just want you to know, you just keep up the fight. I think the Panelverse shit is funny as shit.
Me too.
So I wrote a whole track for it. Once in a while, I put it in your Discord. It's a techno thing. I spent a lot of time on it.
Where'd you put it in the Discord?
It's under music.
Okay.
If you want, I can put it. Do you have access to the? Let me see. Let me copy it here.
What's your name on Discord?
Josh Gardner. But I can put it in the. I put it in the private chat for the where we're talking right now.
Okay. Yeah.
You got it? There's a SoundCloud link.
I see it. Yes, I will try to play it here today. I will.
Oh, I think you'll have a hoot with it. It's absolutely fun. So thank you, Rob. Keep up the fight, man.
Thanks, Josh. It's always a pleasure, man. All right. And hey, everyone's saying Kermit's bass, so they might be making fun of your voice, but at least they think you're bass. So
fucking A. All right.
See you, man. Take it easy.
All right. Late.
Yeah, that's not a bit. That's actually his voice. I sympathize as someone who people make fun of my voice all the time. So I think I enjoy talking to him, though. I think he's a good guy. So, let's see real quick. Problems with the extravaganza. Ugh, who would have thought? So, keep getting those super chats in, folks. We at least got to get to 75% of our goal this fine morning. After all, it is a bonus show, so if we don't really make it, it's no big deal. How long, Nate? $2. Says EBT should only work for WIC items. Yeah, that's a great way to put it. Absolutely. Braden, $2 says, can you steel man government shutdowns? I think I already read that. I said yes. It's not the government's fault. If I'm arguing it, could I? Sure. I could say it's the government, it's the Republicans' fault because they refuse to even talk to the Democrats. They should be obligated to talk to them and give a little. But when one side is, we're going to do the status quo that the Democrats wanted last time, and the Democrats are the minority and say, nope, we're negotiating from a position of weakness, but we want you to give us something, then no. How can I say it's Republicans' fault? If the Republicans were like, great, now we want to add X, Y, and Z, and the Democrats said, look, we're okay as the position of weakness bargaining from saying we'll accept position X being added, but we refuse to have Y and Z. That I could understand saying it's Republicans' fault. But instead, Republicans are saying, we want exactly what the Democrats wanted last time that they demanded. We're accepting that. We'll accept the status quo. And the Democrats saying, no, we demand you give us X, Y, and Z, even though we're negotiating from the position of weakness. No, it's not the Republicans' fault. Landon Manwaring, $20, says the Panelverse dramas just crabs in a bucket. They know your skills far exceed theirs. whether they'll admit it or not, and they can tell you're going places that shows they know you're a valuable piece on the board. Thank you. Yeah, I don't know. I largely agree with this sentiment that to them, this is what's necessary for them to get views, so that's what they're going to talk about. Nate, $10 says, W. Kermit the Beast and Snot from American Dad. Who would have thought Snot and Kermit having a base conversation? Myrmidon, thanks so much for the $5. Really appreciate it. Knack Talk says, don't say that. We'll hit that goal. All right, $2. I like the confidence. Now, we do have 2 callers on the line. Both are very good. Very good. So we're saving Avarice for last because he's really just going to spike the ball. Like, I'm telling you, Avarice is like going to be so base that like people's heads are just going to go, trust me. But first, keep getting those super chats in and we'll bring in. Oh, I'm sorry. Bree over on Rumble, $5 says, keep up the good work. Thank you so much. And then our good friend Byron says, for the grift, tagged you on XBud for $2. I saw that, man, and I will respond. I promise. I've been a little busy, but all right, Evan, how you doing this fine day?
Oh, doing good, doing pretty good. How about you?
Good. I'm doing. I was supposed to go pick up this rental car, and then it didn't happen. So now I got to find time tomorrow. Now there's problems with the extravaganza tonight. My intrepid co-host Jim Bob, it appears, isn't going to be able to make it. So now we find ourselves a mere 3 hours away from the show without a co-host, which is a bit of a problem. But Mr. E and me are pros, so we'll work through it in one way or another. So a little hectic today, but hey, what would a day be without a little, fire being lit that you got to put out? It gives you something to do. So
Yeah. Well, I listen to a lot of channels, and something that No Fugazi or Cooley says is that black fatigue is a psyop. But it made me think of there's been like a dramatic shift in like the opinion towards people from India in that region, where it's been going down. And I feel like that is something that is happening organically as more is getting revealed, like the fact that most scam callers are from that region. The fact that more, as the internet is a thing, more of their strange festivals are coming public, like them rubbing themselves in cow dung and throwing it at each other, and a YouTuber going over and reviewing that, getting their channel review banned by Indians because they didn't think it was a good look. But it's like at one of the moments, there's like, we have this fantastic Hindu tradition that the British stopped, but we brought it back. And it's like, oh, you're throwing cow dung at each other.
right.
And
There was, one of my favorite. Go ahead, keep going. I'll find this quote.
So I would say, kind of like with all this, there's been like a natural progression, or rather degradation towards kind of like people's opinions of them. And there's like no term for it. Like it's not getting mainstream attention. But if those sorts of things happens where like people's tolerance is getting eroded with certain minority groups because they're kind of like acting in a way that kind of disrupts society a bit.
The quote I was saying, it was in British India, which is modern day Pakistan. Sir Charles James Napier was a British general. And there was a practice when in the region at the time when a widow would be made, when a woman's husband was killed, they would burn her alive and take their possessions, right? And so this is what Charles Napier says. He says, "Be it so. This burning of widows is your custom. Prepare the funeral pile. But in my nation, we also have a custom. When men burn women alive, we hang them and confiscate all their property. My carpenters shall therefore erect gibbets upon which to hang all the concerned when the widow is consumed. Let us all act according to our national customs." And he's like saying, like, that's fine if you want to be fucking barbarians and you want to say, but that's our custom. Fair enough. We as well have a custom, and that's that we're going to take you out. And so if you want to act according to your customs, then we too shall enact towards our custom. Now, in general, what you're suggesting here is there is this mindset of like cultural relativism that all cultures are somehow equal, except one exception, and that is sort of European cultures, in particular people that we call white people, are inferior. They're the only ones with original sin. They're the only ones that we could look at the past and say, look at the sins they've committed. They're the only ones that we could denigrate their customs and say, oh, you don't really have a culture. You've just stolen from everyone else. Every other culture, it's, we have to accept, no matter what they're doing, that it's extremely based. And what's happening is a lot of people are now realizing, like, you know what? No, a lot of other cultures around the room are abject shit. And there's a bunch of really fucked up practices, such as in India throwing shit at each other. And so we point to that. And yes, what's happening is the Overton window shifted because so many people are tired of being denigrated for being white. They're like, fuck you, we'll denigrate you. And look at this. You make fun of us because we don't season our food very much and we're bad dancers. You guys throw shit on each other. How about that? And they're like, you can't say that. You can't say that. That's outrageous. How dare you? Now, does this mean the guy that lives next to me that's from India is doing that? Of course not. Would it be garbage if this dude's a really base dude and he's a great neighbor to somehow imply that he's somehow connected to this horrible fucking custom in rural India? No, of course. That would be shit for me to do that. But if we're going to denigrate me as a white person for things that white people do, then why would it be unfair to denigrate people that are Indian for things that Indians do? Right? Mm-hmm. Hey, Evan, can I put you on hold just for a second? I got a call coming in from someone. So let me play a little grifting song, and then I'll be right back, if you guys don't mind. If I can figure it out. Here we go. I'll be right back. Sorry. Probably lost half my viewers. All right, what we got? Don't play the song again, please. No! Sorry, I had a phone call there.
Oh, it's all right.
So just so people know, there will not be an Extravaganza episode today. That's what the phone call was about. So sorry it took a moment of dealing with that, but I was talking mystery and stuff. So obviously I think people will understand with everyone, Jake and Andrew being out of the scene and other people sort of having scheduling conflicts. We just decided that today and maybe for the rest of the week, we won't be doing the Extravaganza. So apologies that I left, but I could stay a couple extra minutes longer now. So I am so sorry, Evan, and thank you for being so patient. And thank you to Avarice as well and everyone else. Apologies, but obviously with something, the prep for that show normally starts around 3:30 or 4. So the sooner we figure out what we're up to, the better. So that's all that it was. So sorry about that.
All right. I'll just say one kind of closing thing is there's a lot of subcultures in India, like a couple, I think like 7 major cultures. So it's a big, so it's not like they're all like the same being Indian, but like the Sikhs that a lot of people have had high opinions of. There's been a lot of things that come out, like they are known for being truck drivers in India and getting into that sort of culture. But apparently a large portion of them in the United States can't read English. So that's kind of like been a major issue.
Let me ask you this real quick. Like, so there are some fucked up like festivals and like stuff that happen in like deep woods of Appalachia, right? Like I've seen I've seen documentaries that they've go in and they find like some folks that are inbred and they'll do documentaries on that. Should we as white people be like, how dare you? How dare that? This is outrageous. Of course not. Like, I understand what's going on, right? I understand that like there is, and listen, I am not a fan of abject racism, right? I'm okay with racist jokes. That's perfectly fine. You want to make fun of me as a white guy and I make fun of you as an Indian guy or vice versa, whatever. I don't give a fuck about any of that. If it's coming from a place like, hey, we're just ribbing you. If it's going to be the situation where it's like, I hate this person because they're Indian. Or it's like, it's okay to have a stereotype, but you get to know them and they're like, I'll give you an example. This call that called in Saturday that was like, I hate Jewish people, but I think Rachel Wilson's based. I think she's great. I bought her book. I think she's a based Orthodox lady. But still, gotta go. Can't be in the country because I believe there's 1/16th or 1/64th of ethnic Jew in you. So goodbye. Like, that's irrational and fucking ridiculous. That I have no time of day for. If you want to say, I have a problem with black, like inner city black culture and like gang rap, gangster rap and shit like that. I get that. Just like you could say, I have a problem with fucking rural white culture. No problem. That you're totally entitled. I'll say fuck you, but that's okay. There's no moral problem necessarily with you making that claim. I just think you're wrong. Fuck off. But it's this. So I understand from the perspective of like a lot of people that are Indian, like, wow, the racism against us has really been driven up. Well, this is the logical extrapolation where we have a society where over and over and over we were told we're allowed to denigrate one race. One, right? And people are tired of that shit. And they're saying, no, fuck you. We'll denigrate your race too. How do you like that? And yes, some people, once you clamp down on censorship, whether it be legitimate censorship, like these social media places saying you literally can't say this shit, or just sort of self-censorship because culture has said that it's okay to make fun of some races but not the others, right? Once that's lifted, yes, people are going to test the boundaries and some people are going to go over it. But it's still worth it. It's still worth having that free speech. I would have it no other way. So, I'm not saying, for example, that people should be locked up for making fun of Charlie Kirk's death. I'm saying, fine. The state should allow you to say that shit, and we should fucking do our due diligence culturally to ostracize you and say, fuck you. We don't want to be around you. This is unacceptable. Same's true of a racist. The person that's out there that's like, I think anyone with 1/64th Jewish blood should be totally booted from this country. They should be allowed to say that. And we should be allowed to say, fuck you. You're an idiot,
Because it exposes them. Like,
correct.
It's there's a saying like sunlight is the best disinfectant. It kind of comes to like a lot of those ideas where you can see it a lot with Twitter. Like there's a bunch of people J-spurging, and they don't have a reason for it. They just don't like them. And then there's others that have legitimate criticisms, and it's not of the entire group; it's of specific members of that group. And
like, for example, I'll tell you right now, one of the problems I have with black culture, again, this isn't everyone in black culture. In fact, it's right, but there is a segment of black culture that glorifies sort of gang livelihood, and that leads to predictable bad outcomes. Like, and I could go ahead and glorify and say that's bad. That's a bad thing to do, right? Does that mean that my friend that's like down the road, my neighbor that's black, who's like one of the coolest guys you ever meet, that I'm judging him like, oh man, like Tupac and Biggie and you? He might even be like, sure, I'll listen to a Biggie song, but my goodness, this guy's at church every week. He's one of the nicest, most base dudes you ever meet. He's fucking Hunter, stereotypical rural Pennsylvanian. I don't have a fucking angry bone in my body based on his skin color or some shit like that. That dude criticizes black culture far more than me, right? It's the same with like, you'll see, oh, you're Hispanic, then you have to hate Trump for like trying to kick out illegals. There's a lot of Hispanics that are like, fuck no, kick him out. Are you kidding me? Right? Like, so the idea that like the racial connotation, I don't really get. Is it okay to say, look, we could notice patterns. We could look at things and say certain racial groups are more likely to. By the way, it's not always negative. Like, is it racism to say Asian people tend to have cultures that prioritize things like education and advancing in society? I don't think so. I don't think that that's an evil stereotype, but largely the data bears that out. So, I mean, what? I'm not Asian. I have no skin in that game, but I can admit, like, yeah, look at that. Look at what they're prioritizing. Now, there's negatives to that as well, but you get the point, right? And so it's perfectly reasonable to say this is what we see as stereotypical things in a culture and whether or not we criticize them. And that's separate from, here is an individual that is of that culture, or at least of the racial or ethnic makeup of that culture. Should I judge them based on something they have no intent in believing purely because of their DNA? I think not. That, to me, is where the problem lies. So I don't have a problem, for example, if people want to talk about the evils of whiteness. My only claim is to be like, okay, let's talk about other ethnicities and cultures as well then. Let's compare. You're absolutely right. This conversation occurs in spectrum after spectrum after spectrum after spectrum. Capitalism's bad. Look at the bad things that happen under capitalism. True. So what's the alternative? Socialism? Communism? Mercantilism? Well, why don't we look and see what those societies were about? No. It's the same way. Oh, whiteness is bad. European culture is bad. White culture is bad. Okay, compared to what? You're right. There's things to bitch about, certainly. You'd be an idiot. The problem is that you want to hyper-focus on that while ignoring all of the other things that could be negative about other cultures. So we'll talk about slavery with white culture, but heaven forbid we announce, well, who was it that was putting those slaves on the boat? Oh, those were blacks in Africa, right? And there were oftentimes a lot of Jewish people that were involved in the slave trade. And there were a lot of Hispanic people that were involved in the slave trade, right? And there certainly was different forms of slavery that were going on in Asian communities. But we don't talk about that shit. It's just those evil white people. In fact, if I'm not mistaken, someone correct me if I'm wrong, like what is modern day Brazil had far more slaves than what is modern day America. Right?
Yep. They had it longer. Like they continued the slave trade longer. Most of the slaves that went to the New World went to Brazil because they had the plantations. They had fantastic gold and gem mines in the Amazon rainforest. Like they had a huge need for labor. So a lot of people went down that way. And it has a dramatic effect on how they look now, as opposed to it being in the United States where there may be majority black areas, but it's not like the entire country is majority black, like the Caribbean islands or Brazil or some of those other places where the triangular trade happened.
And then we have the Barbary pilots or Muslim slave trade that exists today. Mm-hmm. There's slavery in sub-Saharan Africa that's common today, but no one talks about that shit because it's not the evil white man, so we don't give a shit. So
I will say they do mention some stuff about like when the Qatar or when they did the World Soccer there, they mentioned how in the foundations they have Nepalese indentured servants or slaves, which is something that I think like they do mention the moments, but they don't mention like the global trends, which were they did with like European history, which just being a little fair, but Yep. I will certainly say you bring up a good point. It is the cultures that I feel like should be able to
And when you hear,
because there are frankly some abhorrent cultures that people are afraid to go and rightfully attack because I don't want to be seen as racist.
And when you hear, like, for example, where it's like, well, why do so many people that are MAGA or so many people that are right wing push back about the teaching of slavery in schools? It's not that. None of us have a problem. It's the hyper focus on it. That's the problem, right? It's the idea that you're going out of your way to be like America bad, America evil, and you're not putting it in the proper context of what is America in the broad picture of countries around the world. Sure, point to a country that you can't point to shit that's messed up in at some point in their history. Of course, you can do that to any country. But if we're making a comparative analysis, right, why would we want to teach the children of this country how evil this country is without putting it into the proper context? And that's what they want. They view it as oppressors versus oppressed, and America is the great oppressor, so it must be denigrated. And the other countries, therefore, are oppressed, and therefore we must, we can't say anything negative. It's very simple. They do this everywhere. Like, there are actual Nazi organizations in Ukraine as we speak, but Ukraine's the good guys fighting the Russians.
Their
so we have to
national
pretend
hero
it doesn't
was a
exist.
Nazi collaborator, and one of them was brought over to Canada, and everyone clapped until they realized, oh my God, this guy was the leader of the SS Galicia, and it's like, oh, and then they just have egg on their faces, where people should be informed, and I feel like the issue is when people look at history, they had the traditional mindset has always been great man history, where like there's been fantastic people who've come out and people look at that like Napoleon was the primary force of the French Revolution, when that isn't quite true. But it's been overcorrected with standpoint theory, where people are like, look at Haiti. Haiti was fantastic. We love Haiti, when they went and killed every single European, regardless if they were like a slave owner or not. And they did like a whole bunch of nasty stuff, but we're still supposed to look at them like they're the heroes, and that all the isolation they received was unjustified.
Oh, Dusty and his 10 viewers have joined. Thanks so much, Dusty. Appreciate it. All right, Evan, we'll let you go. Then we're going to bring Avarice up. But, man, it's always a pleasure. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it. So, yeah, in case you're just tuning in, we're not going to be doing the extravaganza today, just with all the travel and stuff that's going on. Put it off for another day. So unsure where that will be the rest of the week, but we'll keep you posted. If we're going to do an episode tomorrow or later in the week, we'll definitely let you know and jump on that. So in lieu of the extravaganza today, I don't know, maybe I'll take my son to the movies after all, or I'll do math problems with my son, etc., etc. So I'm still going to be having a good time. Next, we're going to bring... Oh, by the way, let's honor the raid of our friend Panelverse folks that are raiding. Thanks so much. Knack Talk, $5 says, got to push back on that comment about Canada. Not everyone clapped. Just the liberals and Trudeau. Did I miss any others? Landon Manwaring, $5 says, Western culture is so far better than other cultures, it's beyond their comprehension. So they just think we don't have culture. The West is the best. Thank you. Premonition, $5 says, good day, young man. Love to the wife, son, and dog. Thank you. Here's what we could do to show our praise for the people that are raiding in. Thank you so much. Let's get some super chats in to show our praise for them. You don't even have to mention them. You could just say, thanks, Rob, or thanks to our base callers that have called in today. So let's get some super chats in. Thank you all so much. Even if we don't get another one, what a successful day. Already a bonus stream, $170 thus far. Thank you all so much. Thank you to everyone, by the way, that's watching over on Rumble and all other platforms. We appreciate you all. Next up, our friend Avarice. I think he's ready to go. Evan, thanks, by the way, $5 says, sorry if I rambled a bit. Thank you for the great content, Mr. Noah. You didn't ramble at all. Sorry that I had to put you on hold there for a moment to go sort of discuss what's going on with the show. Oh, look at this, man. Absolute Chad, our friend AJC, $100. What an absolute Chad. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it. Look at that. Unbelievable. Let's bring on Avarice. Thanks as always, AJC.
That's a whip song. Yeah, that's a whip song, Rob.
And AJC can pick whichever whip song he wants.
Dark Blues, AJC. Dark Blues.
So what's up? So yeah, I don't know if you heard. I was actually was just discussing with Mr. E like sort of extravaganza business for the rest of the week. Looks like at least for the short term we're not going to be doing it. So bummer. What are you going to do at 5:00 now?
I mean, I usually just stream the extravaganza in the Foundry. Mystery works hard, so I'm pretty sure he's doing everything in his power to,
dude,
behind the scenes.
Listen. As much as look, everyone who watches knows this. Like the situation between me, Jake, and Mystery is in person. We're going to talk shit on each other the entire time. But behind the scenes, when I'm not dealing, Mystery's one of the hardest working fuckers out there. He really is.
So him and I talk, and I actually, believe it or not, beside what people say, I have a lot of fear about becoming a father. Mr. E just basically he's like beats you in submission, like, duh, you're going to be a good dad.
That's right. Shut up.
You're going to be awesome. Yeah. What are you talking about?
Dude, my favorite content is watching Andrew debate with Mr. E commentating over it. Like, you dumb fucking idiot. Like, just yelling at people. I'm like, yeah, nailing it. But no, he's Mr. E's a great dude. And yeah, I assure you, it is not due to lack of preparation for Mr. E that we're not doing a show today. It's just, at some point, it's like so many people are busy or whatever, and certain things come up. It's hard to fill in, like, you know, to get people to do the slot. So that's all that's going on. No big deal anyways. Definitely, I don't think anyone will mind the fact that with DebateCon coming up and with as busy as Andrew, I mean, Andrew's got I think 5 debates coming up in like the next 6 days. And that's before he has several debates at DebateCon. So I think people understand that the extravaganza, if it takes a week off, no big deal. Not the end of the world. So Andy's moving and Jake's flying in from Australia. He's going to be in the States. So all of it just adds up to a good week to take a break.
All these things just sound like good things. They're all good things.
It is good
things. Hey, on top of good things, he did respond. It was Dark Blues.
Oh, did he say? Yeah, do you want to listen to that now? We can do that.
Well, I think we should go. Here's what I think we should do. So I think we should go from robnoerr show to Dark Blues to opening up to how we can trigger more whip songs to make this a tra-la-la-la-la.
All right. Well, let's start with the...
This is the robnoerr show.
Let's start with this.
It's not the Noor Rob show.
No.
This is my favorite show.
I can answer that when he's...
Because it is my show. If this was your show, you'd probably like it more. But maybe that's just because it was your show. But it's not your show. It's the robnoerr show.
Oh, that's the end, right? That's the end. Now. Oh, look at this. Leave him alone.
This is the robnoerr show. It's not the Noor Rob show.
What is that?
My favorite show. Because it is my show.
Because he does?
You probably like it more. But maybe that's just because it was your show. But it's not your show. It's the robnoerr show.
For the record, you don't look like you smoke meth.
I get cool.
Why does the guy on the left look like he eats way too much food? He does. Like that.
I mean, if you want to say it looks like I smoke a lot of pot, you're right. You got me. You got me.
Oh man. All right. For the great AJC, $100. I think that's worth playing a song. So as requested, I got to bring it up. So let's see. Share screen.
Remember how to drag?
I got it. I figured it out. By the way, keep the super chats in. We'll make it to the goal. We still have things to talk about. But for a $100 donation, I think this is reasonable. Thank you so much.
This song goes so hard.
It's a good one.
Well, there's a whip Well, there's a will. There's a will. Well, there's a whip, there's a way, left, right, left. There's a way, left, right, left. There's a way, left, right. A crack on the back says we're gonna fight. We're gonna march all day and night and more. For we are the slaves of the dark Lord's war.
We did it. We made it
Yeah.
to the end.
So I actually had a fun story for you over my weekend.
Okay.
So I'm going through like my discords and whatnot, and you know our good friend Abe Dinkus,
Abe.
right?
Yes. Great.
Yeah,
dude.
good old Abe. So I noticed I go into Abe and it says mod stuff, mod chat. I'm like, what the fuck? So then I noticed I have mod. I'm a mod over in Abe Dinkus' server. I had no idea, and I've been over the server for months, right? So I send this little DM in mod chat. I said, "Holy Lord, how did I get mod?" Right? And I said, "I'm honored, just so you know, but I'm a shitty worker." You know.
Yeah.
And so this guy responds. I don't even know this guy, but it's another mod by the name of Jeremy Ryan. And he goes, "Shh, it was probably an accident. Remain silent and hope nobody notices." In which I reply, I go to primary chat in general. And then I go up there. Hold on here. Where is my general chat? There we go. And I went up there and I respond, "Hello, world of Abe Dinkians. This is your worthless mod speaking. Hi. To make sure you all know my position here, it entails the following: to eat all the muffins provided for the guests, panelists. I take this role very seriously.
Yes.
Now, for actual help and mod questions, please refer to Jeremy Ryan, since he was the first to respond to me in mod chat. Thank you and have a wonderful weekend. Avarice." In which I get a response. Today's lesson: never be the first to respond to Avarice.
Correct. That's a harsh lesson to learn. Yeah. What a weird, like, I'd be honest, like, first off, to anyone who's a like legitimate mod on anyone's channel, let alone my channel, it's thankless work, and thank you. I never have any incentive to ever want to be a mod anywhere. Like, I think it's funny. I have people all the time reach out to me, "Can I be a mod?" And the first thing in the back of my head's like, why? Why would you want to be? Like, I don't understand. Like, I would never, like, if you start a channel, Avarice was like, "Do you want to be a mod?" I'd be like, "Yeah, I'm not going to do anything. I will never, ever do anything with this." Right? Unless you're literally like, "Rob, I can't get to my keyboard for whatever reason. Can you time this person out? Or can you highlight this person's post?" And that's it. That's all I would ever do, because I feel like there are other people that do that. That's not really my role.
Well, I just look at this. I look at the perspective. I go, do you know how many times I message EOD just worthless shit because he's a mod? Like, "Hey mod," or "Hey EOD, how's the sex change coming along?"
Yeah.
Hey EOD, how you doing? Fucking you know the Robin Hood Men in Tights?
Yes, yes.
You know the "Hey Abbott." I'll send him that gif as much as possible.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, my wife is a mod here, and she's never done anything with the mod. It's honorary mascot mods. Yeah, you know, that's all right. But so no, you know what though? Now let me get conspiratorial with you for a second.
I love conspiracy.
Okay, you ready? Now I'm just gonna throw this out there. Now this is gonna make myself look bad, but I might as well throw it out there and get ahead of the story, right? This is my way of subverting the truth. Do you think there's a coincidence that Sarah's hit piece about me is at 5 o'clock and no extravaganza at 5 o'clock? Oh, how about that? Coincidence?
Mr. E might secretly be working with the tomato.
Yeah, put it down.
Keep
What is happening?
eyes on Mr. E. Got it.
Mr. E, you bastard.
God dang it, Mr. E.
We knew it. We knew it.
Wait. It could be Jake. Where is he?
Jake Rattlesnake? Yeah. Bullshit. He's sitting in Australia. He's in Perth as we speak.
What would he be saying right now? Bring Jake up. What would he be saying?
Jake, are you responsible for this? What did you have to do with this, Jake?
That looks pretty guilty.
Your silence says it all, my friend. That's a guilty man if I've ever seen one.
It was Jake the whole time.
Bastard. Look at this. Mr. Bill, $2 says adding Rob as a mod to my channel now.
The women
damn
always
it.
flake to Jake. God damn it.
Look at this. Guest services nails me. Rob's going to hell for being gay. Damn. They got me. I faked this marriage and a child and all of this. For what? And then Abe's watching. He's trying to see how his newest mod's doing. He's evaluating him as we speak. He's like,
my horrible skills.
Ah, shit. Oh, man. Yeah, so now it'll be an interesting day. 9 o'clock, I have a show with Ryan Mullally. I look forward to that. It's going to be talking about some of the legal issues surrounding Trump. So,
to be honest, I'm actually watching someone else debate today. I'm actually quite interested. A friend of ours, Chris Lestrange, if I may say.
He's a good dude. Yeah, he's a good dude. Yeah.
He's debating Planet Peterson today.
Oh, no shit. On what?
Yeah. I mean, I'm going to be on his channel. I think it's on Modern Day Debates. I'm not sure what it is.
Nice.
Prospectively. Hold on. Let me see here.
Look at this. Mantid's calling you out, too.
What's man? Don't ever fool you. I had to dad him this morning. Serious. I'm serious, dude. They tell me, like, listen, I get a lot. Listen, I get very contrarian in the Foundry, right? So people think I'm actually serious on a lot of these topics. They get super aggressive, right? One I've been going at with a strong rhetoric is that it's just a joke comment. I really don't even care. But American beef jerky is superior to South African biltong, and since we've had a bunch of South Africans in the party, it's a hill that they'll die on. Like they'll die on the hill, right? So I go, what is better? They try to go by flavor every time, but I just bring it back to sales. I go, this is subjectively sells more. And they get so mad.
Right. Here, someone, I think this person would like to talk to you. Check out that hat.
Oh, he moved the hat. He moved the hat.
Yeah.
Hey, Sarah. Yeah, no, Sarah. I'm on right now. No, Sarah, I gotta
Tomatoes and mushrooms working
No, look,
together.
yes, I'm wearing the hat. Yes, it's the moldy tomato hat.
Oh,
Yes,
moldy
got
tomato.
the white spot. Yes. Okay, I gotta go. Hang on. All right, okay,
Red spots.
Rob,
Yeah.
you are fat.
That's
Avarice,
true.
You suck. You
Note
Look at this.
sound stupid.
Note to self.
Miss
Is this your
Avarice-
all? Hey Rob, didn't you pack my groceries at Walmart? That's a white trash job.
We
for
can
white
clearly
autistic-
see. We can clearly see whatever you have to say is just a red herring to the fact, and the audience will see here that it's clear that Avarice bullied you into a new hat.
No,
Yes, we
no.
know. We know what's going on.
No, this is I work for the Panelverse, and I'm
Talk
being
about
paid
yourselves. I'm going to the restroom. Go for it.
$7,000 to do this. You suck. The Rob verse, Rob pack, Nor pack, whatever you guys call yourselves these days, suck. And you know what? Here's another thing. I know you think you won because Sarah lost 5,000 subscribers, but the way I see it, it's just 5,000 racists.
It's funny how you're easily paid, and how Sarah was able to buy you with just $1,000 more than I pay you.
When you live on rocks. I mean, $100 can even go a long way. I mean, that's all I got here is rocks. So what else am I supposed to do? Okay.
Well, I'm just.
Anyways,
Zero does not know how to balance his money. Cannot live off $6,000 a month. Noted.
Yeah, correct. Because
I'm just taking notes today. Now, today is about taking notes. All right,
you
get
should,
ready.
Avarice.
Well, we're
You
getting
should,
into 15 days. The debate con's around the corner, so I just gotta start sharpening my blades. You know.
Yeah, of course you should, because as we all know, the Panelverse is greater than the Norverse, and so you should be taking notes about how to properly troll.
What
And,
the fuck is the Norverse? Is this something? Look at Nor.
No, I see. We just came up with that. I just
Oh,
conferred.
Oh,
with
you're adding
Dusty.
this. Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah, Dusty, Radical Coder, Sarah. We just conferred. We came up with Norverse. You guys are all part of it. So we're winning. I mean, we're obviously winning this. Like I said, we lost 5,000 people, but that's 5,000 racists. We're winning.
You know, the more I hear you talk, the more I just see viewer dropping. It just seems like senseless prattle at this
It's
point.
part of the plan. This is part of
it's working.
the
Look,
Panelverse
your
plan.
Extravaganza's gone now. You're losing viewers now. You had a nice raid and you screwed that up, didn't you? So
Nate,
I mean,
Nate for $5 says the hat is obviously AI.
yeah, you know what?
You know what?
You're at the Panelverse. We don't believe in AI.
I
Actually,
believe
we do
there.
quite a bit.
I believe there is a goal. It's $100 to kick somebody. It just
Is that is
zero
true.
for $100.
Yeah.
Get rid of
Well,
them.
what if I left before someone paid for the goal? Then what?
Oh,
Huh?
That's
Then
called
what?
that's
What are you gonna
called
do?
cope, and you run, you lose. That's just
Yeah.
cope.
Oh,
Which
is
is-
that how it is?
That's how it
like
works.
Rob?
Yes.
Yeah, you mean like
Completely
Rob? Huh? You're
That's
just
guilty.
set up Rob for failure right there. You guys
Well,
can't even keep your story together.
He clearly admitted to losing on stream. He said,
True.
"Look, I obviously lost since I ran after my 2-hour long subscription and contractual duties."
Yep.
Mhm.
They got me. They got me. Dead
Got
right.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
right.
that's why you should never admit to anything like we haven't. We've never admitted we're wrong, and that's why we're always going to be right because we know how to play these games. You guys can't even keep a story straight.
Oh, we
Unbelievable.
can't.
This is why the Panelverse will win. We are at level 9,000, and you are at level 2. Just
I had
saying.
some opinions about opinions on Biltong. Someone in the back there.
Yeah, all right. We'll bring them up. Go ahead,
Is that
Grubble.
Man.
Biltong
Grubble?
opinions.
Good to see y'all.
Hey, what's happening, Grubble?
Rob
Is this a
again.
South
Spiro.
African?
Much love. No, I'm not South African. However, I have been learning to make biltong. And I've been Chris has been giving me some coaching tips. And
Oh, Chris the
I'm not
Straight.
saying one way. Yes. No. Yeah. He's a friend.
Okay,
I'm
good.
not saying one way is superior to another. However, I mean, come on, we will not be disparaging biltong. Come on.
Listen,
What
It's
if,
just-
explain what it
it's
is
just-
for us
It's
uncultured
air dried
swine.
meat. It's air dried slabs of meat where you cut off slices.
Okay.
Not like usually for like American style jerky. There's a whole bunch of ways. Like you can mince it. You can grind up and use spices and stuff, and then like spread it out and put it on a dehydrator. Or you can hang up strips and things of dried meat. Which I mean, it's all this is jerky and all of it's great.
It's all
It's all
jerky.
just,
at the end of the day.
real protein. However,
I
biltong
wish I
is
could
like
do that with rocks.
much thicker slices. It's just air dried, removing the water out of it. You still want it to be like rare, raw in the middle and a little bit like damp.
I just saw
You don't want to dry it out all the way.
Van Wilder when he goes, "You air dry that shit. You air dry, Van Wilder."
Oh, you caught that. Outstanding. I'm sorry. Who's our new I'm in the blue shirt. Who's our new friend?
Oh,
Avarice.
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 Yeah.
Did I hear you accidentally got
Nobody
like
knows who
you accidentally an
Avarice is.
Abe?
Yeah.
I didn't. I'm sorry. I'm not as versed
No,
on the
don't-
Panelverse here. My bad.
Oh,
Don't
come
feel-
on. Now.
Yeah, don't feel it's fine.
Panel
No,
versus-
it's good to meet you.
No, I said something very specifically different.
Yeah, again, I'm not even like it. The funny part is I really didn't even care. I don't. It's just jerky at the end of the day. The funny part is you just watch the South Africans go buck wild and defending it. That's the funny part, right? They die on the mountain for Biltong. So
Yeah, it's like, dude, I love all of it. Like, yeah, let me get new techniques and new ways to make dried meat. I love all of the dried meat. Like,
yeah,
let me get more. Well, I want all of the protein. I'm that nerd, that eats actual like raw meat and
You might
maybe
know
sometimes
this
sear it
dried
on the
meat. I
outside,
don't
yeah.
know the name of it, but there was this dried meat I had that this guy he said it was really fancy, and he had it on this like display with 2 metal rods, and it was a thick piece of meat, dried meat. You had to cut it in real thin slices, or else it would taste really bad. Oh man, I can't remember what it was, but
I think you might be talking about a jamon, which is a Spanish, like it's basically prosciutto, but it's like Spanish. It's like a stand, and it's like a leg of pork.
Yeah, exactly. That's what it is.
And you like, okay, that's not at all what you said, but that's what I got out of it, and apparently I was right.
Well,
Yeah,
you're
you
right.
slice pieces off, and it's essentially prosciutto, which is like the Italian word for the same exact thing. It's very salty, And
Listen, I come from all the way up in Alaska. All these things are new to me when we open the doors. Like if it's outside of the moose and caribou, we're kind of like, oh wow.
Well, see, for me, jerky was always easily the most common type of jerky was venison. Right, because that's what you do. You'd shoot a deer, and then you get half. You get like half of it jerky, and then half of it burgers and steaks. Right. So when I was growing up, like before I remember ever tasting beef jerky, it was venison jerky. Right, and it was just the way that the people I knew prepared it. It was so fucking like dry and hard. It would like break your teeth, but it was awesome. It was awesome because you chew on it like it's almost like side chew. Put it on there and it lasts forever, man. You put it in your mouth and you gnaw on this shit for like a half an hour. And that was awesome. That was sort of the intent. And now I'll see this jerky that's sort of maybe a little more like you're explaining Biltong, where it's like it's dehydrated, but it's rarer and it's chewier. It's not really tough like that. And like some of the dudes I know are like, this is fucking bullshit. This isn't real jerky. This is some bullshit meat, whatever this shit is. I want shit that'll break my teeth, Well, there you go. Yeah.
Well, that's the thing. Also, jerky, you're gonna prepare a lot thinner, but yeah, that's venison is perfect jerky because it's lower fat, and you can just dry it all the way out, and then that's how you preserve it. Yeah. But biltong is, I mean, it's air dried. It's meant to be thicker, and like honestly, if you can turn it into a brick, you make it so you can't even cut it if you dry it out all the way like you would like an American style jerky.
So what you're saying is that American jerky is superior because we can't fuck it up.
I didn't say that, man. I like both. I like all of it. I eat raw meat, dude. You're talking to the Luddite that eats like actual raw meat sometimes.
Someone bring some biltong to BaitCon. I would love as a fat man to eat some, and then I will make a judgment. As how good I think it is.
This will be a robnoerr stream at debate.
Yeah.
I'll be there like
Rob,
hey.
It's like a 40% that I'll be at Grid's event. I may or may not be at DebateCon proper, but I may be at Grid's event, and I'll bring some.
Nice. And then I'll just do an hour-long stream where I just contemplate. I look like Conan.
You bring extra.
You just contemplate the meat.
You bring extra. I'll be at Grid's event. You bring extra over there. Share.
Oh yeah, I'll bring a bunch. I'm just not. I'm like, I really would like to. It's going to be a great networking event, and I just, oh man, it's like, I just may not be able to make it.
Again, I still think that we should be heckling Rob right now with donos on the whip songs. We should be trolling Rob with whip songs, morning crew, to make the dono bar, to tell afternoon crew that they can eat some to our awesome dono bar fill up of annoying Rob with whip songs.
Listen, that's fine. And we'll continue. I'll stay on until 3:00. I do have one more caller to get to, so I'll let you guys all go for. However, I will say, since both of you have brought up Chris, there is the link. Chris actually just messaged me that there is the link to him debating this evening, his channel. So he will be debating, is evolution based more on assumption than on direct evidence? And I will show that here so you guys can see that. So there it is. Chris, so make sure you join. Yeah, he is a good guy. I enjoy. I interact with him a lot on Verbal Combat. There, he's a good guy.
But he's the only one out of the group of people that like argue with me, and then we like argue, and then right after we're like, "Hey, thanks for the back and forth. It was fun just to go back and forth." It doesn't even take it like we're actually like they don't get. He doesn't get emotional after. We get emotional in it, right? And then we're like, "Good game."
Yeah. Well, a lot of those dudes over there are like that, like JS Urban Adventure. Like it's always people are always putting me and him up on a one-on-one, and we're yelling at each other. And then afterwards, it's like it's all good. But yeah, that's going to start at 8 p.m. Eastern, so that's an hour before I come on, anyways. So if you're looking for something to do an hour before I come on, check that out. And then maybe he'll have already destroyed his opponent within an hour, or it'll be heated, and you'll decide to watch the rest of that. And me and Ryan will sit here talking to no one. That's cool too. We're not greedy. Well, I am greedy. I'm trying to get your money, but you can hurry up and send money to me, and then go back to watching Chris. That's cool too. So, gentlemen, all three of you, even the moldy tomato that came over here. Thank all three of you. I'm going to get to my last caller and then yell at people to send in money until we meet the goal. So
the Panelverse is victorious.
We'll see you guys. All right. We got one more call. Thank you to all three of those guys. Jason Egger, $10. It's Egar, isn't it? Not Agar. Says, Rob, let's bring up the wheel and finish the game. I'll bring up the wheel. I'm going to get to my last caller, and then we'll bring it up, and we'll finally finish Spiro off. And then Knack Talk, $2 says, got to go back to work. Good luck, Rob. Seriously. Thanks, Knack Talk. Lyso Operator, what's up? You're the last caller of today. What's happening?
All right. I appreciate you having me, Rob.
No
Heard you had
problem.
an interesting weekend.
Yeah, all kinds of stuff hitting deer and crazy stuff going on. People calling it, apparently I'm persona non grata for being a Zionist now or some shit. I don't know. But it's all good.
Yeah, absolutely. That was the wildest thing, getting ready to watch my dogs take the field. I'm a big college football fan. I know you're a Penn State guy, but that was absolutely crazy. Wanted to kind of throw it back to the Craig and Max debate because I was actually studying it, trying to better myself in articulation. I don't know if I'll get to your level, but something that Max brought up that didn't make much sense to me. He was trying to articulate in the beginning, the American left isn't really the left.
Yeah.
What is your counterpoint to that? Because to me, it's contextual. Like what's left in the United States is like, contrast to the other side.
So it has to do with controlling language. What if I said this? I don't think there's a real right wing in the United States. And you'd say, huh? How does that make sense? Of course there is. And I say, no, I think to be right means to be fiscally conservative. And I don't think either parties represent that. Now what? So if someone says, well, I think the right is, tends to be more racist. What right? There is no right in the United States. So any racism you could point to in the United States, I'll say, nope. Is that fiscal conservatism? No, that's how I define right. Therefore, there is no real right. Right?
Gotcha.
Or capitalism. I don't think there is real capitalism in the United States because I think capitalism's free markets. And I don't think we have a capitalist system in the United States. Instead, what I think we have is a mixed economy. And I think we have politicians that push a mixed economy and that picks winners and losers. And so therefore we end up with corporatism and there is no such thing as capitalism. So any criticism you have with any capitalist in the United States, erroneous. There are no capitalists in the United States. Sure, we could choose to define terms in niche ways in which we say, because of the way in which I've defined the term, it proves that there is no negativity with the group that you seem to be saying there's negative. Of course, the other point to that would be like, okay, would that mean that anything of benefit I could point to that's came from the United States, I could say clearly that's all right wing because there is no left wing? And of course, he would change his tune very quickly. He would say, no. The parts that I think are good come from a left wing perspective. But when you point to negative things, in addition to that, it's like, well, I'm not saying that it's actually the state when we're talking about political violence. It's clear that the impetus of what was being said with that topic is when it comes to political violence, i.e. with individuals, not with state actors, which side is worse. So it wouldn't really matter if there's is the argument really going to be that Antifa is right wing? Because they tend to support the Democratic Party, which you don't consider to be left wing enough? It's just truly a no true Scotsman's fallacy that's designed to shirk themselves of any sort of responsibility for the people that are ideologically aligned with them. That's it. And then when you take it down to the logical, he says Uruguay. If I would have had time to get it, now the problem is the way that debate's set up, in addition to sort of the silliness of it all between both of my opponents in different ways, their two positions were contradictory. For example, Craig is citing a bunch of studies that he's saying is the basis for his opinion that the right's more violent than the left. And all of those studies are not taking into account political violence or government violence. Mm-hmm. So it's like the CISA study's not saying, every time that Joe Biden's police arrested someone, that's an example of left-wing political violence. And every time Donald Trump's, police arrested someone, that's right-wing political. They're not saying that. They're making a specific claim about non-governmental actors. Mm-hmm. Like that's the definition of domestic terrorism that they're talking about. The very first part is non-state actors, right? So it would not be considered domestic terrorism if, for example, you think ICE is a terrorist organization. That would be state-sponsored violence, which is a different question, right? So it's truly just a no true Scotsman. If it wasn't that they were contradictory and I was just arguing against Max, then the conversation would have taken a different tone. Okay, he says Uruguay is the true left wing. I'm sure that it wouldn't have taken much effort to prove to him how that's an outlier and to say left wing governments would include things like Soviet Union under the Bolsheviks, Mao's China, where we saw the bodies pile up and up and up and up and up. So if we're looking at them as two of the only true left wing governments ever, and we can see that it's resulted in hundreds of millions of people murdered, why would we say that the left's better than the right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's like, so it's just, it's absolute bullshit. And a lot of people not from the United States that will talk about tendencies in the United States of the left and right will make this argument. I've heard it dozens of times. There is no left wing, and I predicted in the show before that debate, I said they will, they're going to cite these studies, right? And then there will be semantical arguments about what does right mean and what does left mean. And there you go.
Yeah,
there is no right wing. And
Absolutely.
you can take this argument to the end extension. I think only true communism is left wing. And there's never been a true communist government. Therefore, there's never been a left wing government. So anything negative you could say about any government in history is an example of right wing failures because there's never been a real left wing. Okay, what's the utility of that? You might as well say my definition of woman is anyone who chooses to call himself a woman. The word loses all meaning when you say it that way, right? It's like, so it's just bullshit. It's all it is. He knows what we mean when we're saying left and right. He knows exactly what we're talking about. So,
last thing, I'm glad you're actually talking about the lawfare against Trump. That was something, just as a fan, I would love to. I've seen it in debates, and obviously I need to do my own research outside of it to get like more weight to what's being said and what's being referred to. I would love for you to break that down at some point, just like as a video format, because you're really articulate about it. You actually have a deep understanding, and you provide a perspective of. I hear a lot of. I listened to a Tim Pool clip. I know you were on that show, where a lawyer was trying to articulate kind of the granular legalese around reasons why it can be done against Trump, but not done in this regard towards this Democrat. And I would just love, more intricate perspective from you, especially because you know how to articulate it to, just the average person like myself.
I got to be honest. I need to research now. I think that the show tonight. With Ryan Mullally at 9 p.m. Ryan's an attorney, right?
Okay.
And he doesn't agree with me in totality, but I think he's good faith. He's more of like a centrist. And he's going to outline sort of some of the like lawfare against Trump and specifically what he thinks. So I think he'll be able to articulate. My problem at this point is I've been so busy. A lot of these specific legal cases, I haven't had the time to read the briefs, to read the decisions, to literally get into the exact minutia of what's going on. And so, which is what I love doing. So I need to delve into that more. So absolutely more of that will be coming, particularly after DebateCon. Probably the first of the year, because the problem with after DebateCon is we're jumping right into Thanksgiving, right? Mm-hmm. And so that's a lot of family stuff. I probably have 4 or 5. It's a fat guy, it works out. I got 4 or 5 Thanksgivings to go to. But after that, and then you're jumping right into the sort of holiday season with Christmas, and my wife's birthday's on New Year's Eve. My son's birthday's on January 9th. So it'll be busy up until that point with family stuff and with sort of stuff here on the channel. But yes, that's absolutely things that I plan on doing in the future. Awesome. So I'm glad that you point that out. Yep. Hey, go ahead, please.
Last thing, I just want to provide some unsolicited advice like I have on Twitter to you. Just keep dunking on these losers and everything will sort itself out.
Well, thank you. It is a weird juxtaposition of when you talk about it, it gives it life, but also when you talk about it because I'm on the right side of it, it really illustrates just how pathetic they are. So it's sort of a horse of peace. Some days I'm like, I don't feel like talking about it. Other days like today, for the reasons I said with Sarah specifically saying, I just rated Rob to help him. What a load of shit. It's okay to be like, yeah, I rated him because I wanted my audience to be like, fuck you, buddy. Right? But the idea, like now I believe her if she's like, look, come on. I didn't want them to mass report your channel. I believe that. I don't think she wants that. But the idea that she's like, oh no, I was doing it as a favor to you. Oh, fuck yourself. Don't bullshit me. You talk shit me for 5 hours, then rated me and expected that to be of benefit to me. Fuck you. Don't be this passive-aggressive fucking loser. Say it with your chest. And that's the entire point. She's constantly telling me, like, all this shit behind the scenes is passive-aggressive bullshit. Go fuck yourself. As soon as she said, you can't attack any of us on the Panelverse and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, yeah, go fuck yourself. And then they're like, oh, you're crying about it. Why? Because I heard you talk shit publicly and I talk shit publicly? It's not my fault that fucking Andrew decided that you exhibited yourself poorly and decided he didn't want to work with you anymore. And now it's cost you 5,000 fucking subs. That's on you. Tough shit. The fact that you're now going to perpetually live off the drama, fine. So I'll call it out when I see fit. But it is a double-edged sword. Calling it out means you're giving more oxygen to it. But on the other hand, by calling it out, you point out how stupid it is. So
absolutely. Well, thanks again, Rob.
Hey, thank you, Lysol. I appreciate it, man. Take it easy. All Our good friend Geoverse, $2 says blessings from the Geoverse and friends. Now listen, Jason Igor requested that we show the whip wheel. It's a $50 spin of the whip wheel. Anyone who would like to get a random song that's on there, but you don't have to. Now, what would be nice is we are about $62, it looks like, away from our goal. I think we could make it. What do you all think? Josh wants us to play his track. All right. Speaking of, see, this is what I'm talking about, though, right? And we get in this situation where it's like, oh, maybe we should cover this less. And it's like, well, play the song. It's like, okay. What is this shit? It's making me sign into something on SoundCloud. What the fuck is that about? No, we don't want to do that. All right. How long is this? 3 minutes. Crushing me, Josh. All right. Where's it at? All right, here we go.
Well, I think this is what happens when people fuck with the Panelverse that way. Fuck with the Panelverse that way. Fuck with the Panelverse that way. Fuck with the Panelverse. Well, I think this is what happens.
Can you guys hear this?
This is what happens. This is what happens. This is what happens. Well, I think this is what happens when people fuck with the Panelverse that way. You're not a Panelverse person. You come in and you try to fuck with the Panelverse people. Like, they will all band together. Band together. Band together. Band together. Band together. You just can't do that. You can't go around to Panelverse shows and flip out on hosts and get mad at hosts or fuck with host shows and do that kind of stuff and then expect everyone to turn and look at you and be like, oh yeah, come on back. Come on back. 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 You just can't do that. You can't go around Panelverse shows, flip out on hosts, and get mad at hosts, or fuck with host shows, and flip out on hosts, and get mad at hosts, or fuck with host shows, and flip out on hosts, and flip out on hosts, and flip out on hosts. You just can't do that. You can't go around to Panelverse shows and flip out on hosts and get mad at hosts or fuck with host shows and do that kind of stuff and then expect everyone to turn and look at you and be like, oh yeah, come on back. Come on back. Come on back. Come on back. I think he doesn't know the power of the Panelverse. I think he doesn't know the power of the Panelverse. Power of the Panelverse. Well, I think this is what happens.
Should have got my glow sticks.
You're not a Panelverse person. Band together. You're not a Panelverse person. Band together. I think he doesn't know the power of the Panelverse.
Thank you so much, Josh. That was an excellent song. I would have brought my glow sticks had I known. Now, here's the deal. We're very close to our goal. I owe a whip wheel spin. We'll give it. We can get to the goal here. Let's do it. Premonition. $5 says, in 2 hours, Tomato's doing something about you. And Andrew, on YouTube, title's not very nice. I won't repeat it. Yeah. We talked about it at the beginning of the show. No problem. Chop, $2. Says, get that goal. Thanks so much. I Stand America. $5 says, done. That's a goal. Thank you so much. NC over on Cash App. $60 says for the goal. I didn't say your full name, NC, because some people don't like their real names being said. So, but thank you so much for that. Lyso operator, $10 gives a goal. Thank you so much. And then, of course, Jason Eager, $50 to mess with Spiro once more, to spin the wheel. Let's do it. Oh, it would be funny if it's the same annoying one. Oh, it's not going to be. Pop Punk! Wow! Okay. Let's see. I think I might have that one saved. You ready? Here we go. For you, Spirit.
There's a way, where there's a whip, there's a way. We don't want to go to war today, but the Lord of the Land says nay, 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 nay. We're gonna march all day, all day, all day. Where there's a whip, there's a way.
I feel like this one, the lyrics fit style almost more than any. We're gonna march all day and night and more, for we are the slaves of the Dark Lord's war. Where there's a will, where there's a will, there's a will, where there's a whip, there's a way, where there's a whip, there's a way, where there's a whip, there's a way, left, right, where there's a way, there's a way. Oh, boy, it really restarts there soon. That was a good one. A reminder, before we leave, if anyone wants to throw $50 in. It's weird because I don't have a hard out today. Now, my son had off school today. That's why I didn't have to leave at 2:30. Which it was going to be serendipitous because that meant we could go pick up the car from the rental car place, which ended up telling us that we can't pick it up till tomorrow. So I don't necessarily have a hard out, but I was going to go downstairs and hang out with my family. So if anyone wants to throw in any more money, would be happy to take your money. Also, BB, thank you so much over on Cash App earlier today for the $5. Says, thank you for being here today. Thank you, my friend. Really appreciate it. Hard out, that's what she said. Boo. Take him to see Tron. There was one called like Pet Train or something that we were going to. 2003 Cavalier. When I started dating my wife, I drove like a 93 Oldsmobile. I had a pair of vice grips that were holding the brake line together. It was a unit of a car, man. Let me tell you. We will not be going to see Tron. Not happening. Chevy Beretta? Yeah. Yeah, Cutlass Supreme, baby. Yeah. 99 Saturn. Yeah, that Saturn, I was at a friend's place playing poker. My wife came over with me. Again, we were only dating at the time. And some random dude that was at the bar joined our poker game. And he gets a little drunk and just like storms out. Oh, I gotta go. Okay? And he backs his car up into my now wife's. Sorry about that. Pulls away. None of us even knew the dude to contact him. Now, first it didn't look that bad, but he had something on the back end that literally went right through her radiator of this Saturn, and that was the end of it. So yeah, some random drunk poker player ruined my wife's car. So the $20 I lost or won from him, outweighed by the hundreds of dollars of damage to my wife's car. We never did repair it. Yeah, the ball of his hitch, yep, through the radiator. Impala, yeah. My dream car was my friend, I don't know the year, but he had a Chevy Caprice, emerald green. Damn, was that an awesome car. All right. If no one else wants to do any whip songs or anything, we are going to raid our friend Grid Motorsports. Now, when you get over there, ask Grid about his event that he's having before DebateCon, and I'm sure he'd be willing to give you all the details about it. So if you're going to DebateCon, or if you're considering going to DebateCon, consider picking Grid's brain a little, asking him all about it, giving him a like and a sub. And I'm sure he'll be able to tell you all about his event that's going on there at DebateCon. Avarice, thank you, my friend. All right, no extravaganza today. You'll see me at 9 o'clock. 9 o'clock this evening with Ryan Mullally. I'll probably be a couple minutes early, but it'll be around that time. So, you got kicked from his channel for asking about AI? I can't speak to that. I do not know. However, it's been a great show today. Thank you to all the callers, to all my mods, to my editor, Black Elk. You guys are all the best. Thank you to everyone who donated. Thank you to everyone who chatted. Thank you to everyone who just watched. I appreciate it. Grid just ended. Is that true? Well, piss. If Grid ended, then we'll find someone else to raid. It does look like. All right, then we'll raid Jim Bob. Sorry, Grid. Tried to get over there to you. Verna Desert, $5 says, when a problem comes along, you must whip it. Are we not men's not in here, is he? Right, Sarah. That's funny. Nah, I'm good. I'm not petty like that. So, it's funny, though. All right. You guys are the best. Enjoy the raid of Jim Bob. Maybe you'll get lucky and he'll do his Jordan Peterson voice for you. I laugh every time he does it. I don't know about you all. All right. We'll see you later tonight around 9 p.m. Thank you so much. As always, have a good one. And remember, keep that memory of Charlie Kirk and what happened to him in your mind. And remember to say prayers to him and his family. Thanks so much, everyone. We'll talk to you tonight. God bless, Charlie.
Only in America is it possible to say, you know what, I don't like the way the country is going, and to do something about it. Take that risk. Take that leap of faith. Stay involved. Trust God and act obediently. Romans 12:2 verse. That God will use all things for good for those who love him. It's bigger than you. I want you to remember that. It is bigger than you. It's bigger than me. You are here to make somebody else's life better, the pursuit of liberty and freedom. You know what gives me strength? It's hundreds of thousands of you that say, Charlie, keep going.
1 Corinthians 5 and 15. So that's all pretty amazing evidence, not just intra-biblical evidence, but extra-biblical evidence that Jesus Christ was a real person. He lived a perfect life. He was crucified, died, and rose on the third day, and he is Lord and God of all.